Hello and welcome. Today is going to be a different stream. I'm going to actually just be editing a video. And that's it. It's just going to be me editing a video. So um have fun watching, or see you next time. Let me get my chat up here so I can at least read that. Huh. I should have had this set up. Okay. Let's see. Is YouTube live? YouTube looks to be live. Okay. It's Twitch live. All right. Twitch is live. Cool. I can see. Let's see here. Hey, Traveler James, how's it going, dude? Can you hear me? Let's see. And Rylan Little on YouTube, can you hear me? All right, sweet. Sweet. Chat. Hey, Laxmio, how's it going, dude? Let's see. It is my first time doing a stream where I'm editing, so I'm just trying to set up some stuff. It's actually not messing up much. So let's mess up a little. Okay. This over here. Cool. So I can read chat a little bit. Oh yeah, I'll try and get as many people as I can to this next video. Don't necessarily know what I'm doing in the beginning of it. I know I'm going to talk a little bit about D4, a little bit about PoE2, obviously. Okay, I have my YouTube chat functioning properly, but so many windows open. Give me a second, guys. Minimize this. Disconnect from here. Close this. Which... Okay, I think I got it open now. Which is still a little weird. Pop out chat. There we go. All right. Twitch. All right, sweet. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be a little disjointed. This is how I edit. Pretty all over the place. Hog's reaction was pure gold. Yeah, saw that. I haven't gotten to his video. I'm just going through DM's video right now. He essentially just said him and a bunch of people in his chat were talking, saying like, "You want to see a video from me?" So that's what I'm kind of working on right now. What's this? Here we go.
You see Rax's video? No, let's watch that one, shall we?
All right.
Path of Exile 2, maybe the ARPG of the future.
In my opinion, this is one of the strongest announcements I've ever seen in the history of ARPGs. Let's go to Diablo 4. Diablo 4 has different problems. Diablo 4 has almost no barrier to entry. They're great for casual players. It's not complicated and it's not intimidating at all.
You see Rax's video? No, let's watch that one, shall we? Path of Exile 2, maybe the ARPG of the future.
In my opinion, this is...
Yeah. Next, Rod's post is going to be in it for sure. I already have that. I have a little bit of hog. Let's see over here.
Oh my goodness. Hog's got the video. Path of Exile 2 reveal was so epic it steamed Rod Ferguson. All right, what is
the
it?
genre of ARPG is starting to mean a lot of different things. Much like Souls-like and roguelike,
Okay.
I wonder if we could normalize Diablo-like for ARPGs that follow the Diablo formula.
Yeah, I'll get his actual from his real video in there. I'm just kind of using this as like a bit of a guide. DM kind of made my job a little easier with his latest video, but geez. I mean, Jim edited this. He did a great job. He really worked hard on this video. 30 minutes.
You see Rax's video? No, let's watch that one, shall we? Path of Exile 2, maybe the ARPG of the future.
In my opinion...
You see Rax's video? No, let's watch that one, shall we? Path of Exile... Path of Exile 2, maybe the ARPG of the future.
In my opinion...
Future.
In my opinion, this is one of the strongest announcements I've ever seen in the history of ARPGs.
I don't know. So I might have Rax say that and be like, is he talking about Diablo 4? And then, where the f... This is... Sorry, man. Let's see. It's good.
Let's go to Diablo 4. Diablo 4 has different problems. Diablo 4 has almost no barrier to entry. Let's go to Diablo 4. Diablo 4 has different problems. Diablo 4 has almost no barrier to entry. They're great for casual players. It's not complicated and it's not complicated and it's not intimidating at all, which is why Diablo 4 sold so well. The problem sold so well.
Damn right. Every time I see Rax in a Frosty video, it's always his statement about friends we made along the way. Yeah, dude. It's not about a good game. It's about the friends we've made along the way. That's not what Diablo 4 is about. It's not about being a good ARPG.
The problem is it lacks an endgame almost entirely.
Oh my god. Oh, that's good. Oh my god, I'm having a lot of problems editing with this software today. Yeah, so typically that's a great line. I'm gonna label that Rex, I'll label you with different color blue. It's a good line.
There truly is nothing to do.
Holy shit, dude. Dude, back to back, saying the same thing. I love how the reaction is the same from literally everyone.
Well,
all right. Flip color.
Well, I guess that's not literally true. When you get to the end game, there are actually quite a few activities you could do, but there aren't really any great rewards for doing that.
Man, they get
Oh my god.
Great rewards for doing that.
pretty good.
Man, it gets worse. No.
I think Scott Neva, I think they're going to come out with the other half of the story at least by the end of the expansion. So I think what their game plan for Diablo is, they sold the game. They sold Vessels of Hatred. They got your $90. They got your $50, whatever it is. Now they don't have to really give a shit. They know PoE2 is coming out. They're just like coasting. And when it comes time to sell expansion number 2, that's when they're going to be like, guys, here's our new endgame system. And everyone's like, oh shit, that's actually really cool. And then they'll be like, yeah, we also changed how this is happening. And by the way, in the expansion, you're getting the Paladin. And everyone's getting a really cool freaking move. And that's how they're going to sell the second expansion. Second expansion is going to come out, and then they're just going to be like, we don't give a crap. You bought the expansion. We're just going to coast for another half a year, like they did in the beginning of Diablo 4 when it came out. And they're just like, we're finally fixing the game in season 4. This entire season, they're just like, we're not going to even fix the Spiritborn. Deal with only playing the Spiritborn. Maybe you'll play next season, maybe, because I don't know. You're probably playing PoE2 or something.
Nothing to do, no reason to do the things there are to do, and no rewards for doing them. Yeah. Can you guys imagine the frosty?
Okay, so yeah, after I heard DM say this, I literally just started editing. I was like, all right. So here it is.
Yeah. Can you guys imagine the Frosty LaRue video we're going to be getting about all the Diablo 4 players like watching Path of Exile? I can see the title of the video already.
Other thing.
Wonder what the title will be.
Yeah. Can you guys imagine the Frosty LaRue video we're going to be getting about all the Diablo 4 players like watching Path of Exile? I can see the title of the video already.
Yeah, that's going to be in the video. That is... This is off kilter. Okay. This is going to be a red clip.
Other things. They have made the crafting a lot easier, and they want you to craft a lot more often. No more porting to town, walking to your crafting bench, and then doing stuff and having the items bricked, and you don't know how to fix it, and you don't have any currency, and you're mad. The currency drops much more often.
This is an important point because I think it will also give you the opportunity to learn about the currency.
Now, while I'm editing this video, any kind of real facts, just, real facts about any of the games I don't need. So even though this is interesting, it's not going to be in my video, but I have to listen to it anyway.
So like now as it stands, when you get currency in PoE 1, you're thinking from a monetary value, which is like, oh, I just got a few Chaos Orbs, I can use that later on to like buy something, or you're like scared to use them because they're worth so much. But in PoE 2, they're going to be giving you, they say if they haven't given you the opportunity to have mini exalts by time you get to the end of Act 1, then they've made a mistake. So being able to actually actively use your currency as you're going through the acts to progress your gear instead of just either buying gear or crafting it using recipes, etc. Like I think that's a huge additional change that will make it much easier for people to actually learn the game as opposed to just hanging on to currencies. I think that's significantly better. Also, the explanation and breakdown of currencies are so much easier to understand now, and the process of like getting an item finished out is much more like linear and obvious.
So the crafting is going to be easier. It's going to be a major part of the game.
I kind of wish they did some of the skill trees. I kind of wish there's something they could have done to make it a little easier for new players to get into. Okay, so they kind of did, but it's something you might not understand unless you actually played the game. If you did.
Okay. This might be very annoying for people, but this is what I'm going to have to do just to save me time. I'm going to double speed it.
You'll probably understand what I'm saying. So in PoE 1, there's a crucial mistake you can make, which is like not focusing on getting life, you need life. And so what they've done in PoE 2 is they put life like basically elsewhere so that you don't, by lack of information, make the mistake of like failing to get life. Because you feel kind of pigeonholed into like, okay, you have to have life, whereas you kind of get shit on. So your tree is a lot of times optimized around like, okay, well, I need to grab this life node and this life node. So there's a lot of math on like where you go, where you want, where you need to go. And the other part is attribute requirements. Okay, well, they changed this in PoE 2, so the travel nodes themselves are actually significantly easier to use because you can just choose the attribute you want. So if there's a skill gem you want to use or something like that, you can just go until you can use that gem because you can just add the attributes you want on your thing without having to actually go somewhere to get that. So you don't have to like mathematically pass somewhere to get plus 10 intelligence because you don't have the bricks in your entire build. So a third point that they've done to make the skill tree easier to understand is that your
Okay. This is
socket. They've also completely just
yeah, okay. Laxmio, you're talking about the life potion bug in D4 that recently happened. So, okay, can someone explain to me? They're not nerfing Spiritborn because they said they wouldn't nerf things mid-season unless it was affecting the servers. And Spiritborn was kicking ass. Now with this life potion, or what they did have, every class in the game was kicking ass. They were able to do 150 pits. For some reason, they didn't like that, and they nerfed it. It was like, I was actually going to start playing again. I was like, oh shit, I can play a rogue, and I can get to 150 pit. I can just use the potion, fine. They nerfed that. They patched that. Did they somehow pretend that was affecting servers? Because that's the only reason they said they would nerf things like that. I guess technically it's not a class, it's an item in the game. Yeah, Lax, I was gonna come back. Yeah, Necro's kind of decent. Like, I agree with you, Mighty, but I'm really actually upset because I was going to come back. They're so stupid. It's like no one. Like everyone's defense is that there are people that are still playing the game. They're still gearing out their Spiritborn. They're really slow. They're very casual, and they're not going to understand when the bugs get fixed, and their characters like now nerfed. They care so much about that player base, but they don't care about the people that love and are obsessed with the game, where they're just like, I want to play all the classes. I can't wait to play my favorite class. And they're like, no, we just want Spiritborn to be good because that's the one people have paid the expansion to play. But whatever. I get it. I quit after the first week. I was playing so hard that first week because of the I call it the Speedy Boy class, the Dodge Spiritborn. And that I dumped all of my materials into the Dodge Spiritborn. I completed the campaign. I completed the honor within 8 days. I dumped everything into the build. They bricked the build, and I had no more materials. And I farmed all my bosses, and I was just like, I am done. I'm done. Yes, the evade. Yes.
I thought the skill tree is actually vastly easier to understand because of these three concepts. Being easier is not the same as being good for new players nor casuals. Skill tree is still way too big for most people. I think that a core concept. Being easier is not the same as being good for new players nor
Kind of like that line. Because someone said that D4 is like easier.
being easier is the same as Being easier is not the same as being good for new players nor casuals. Skill tree is still way too big for most people. I think that a core part of what makes Path of Exile good is having a large skill tree. That is a core concept of the game that they can smoothline and make easier to understand. But even though I do agree that PoE2 is going to have a much larger demographic and should cater more to newer players, I do not think the passive skill tree is one of the portions of the game that we should cut the balls off of in favor of making it baby's first ARPG.
I agree. It looks intimidating, but people can figure it out. They made it so you just just pick whatever nodes you want. You're going to be fine until like you hit endgame. And you're going to still even be able to do endgame. If you want to push the highest difficulty possible, then look up a guide, copy and paste it, like people are already doing in Diablo 4 who want to push high endgame. There's going to be really no difference other than just seeing a lot of options and people getting overwhelmed. And if that's what's upsetting people, then I don't know if PoE2 is the right game for them.
I think that's one of the portions where it's like you can kind of understand as you go through. They've smoothed it a bit, but if you're just dog shit and refuse to understand the passive tree or refuse to, I think that's one of the portions where it's like you can kind of understand as you go through. They've smoothed it a bit, but But if you're just dog shit and refuse to understand the passive tree, or refuse to spend the time, or refuse to watch videos, or refuse to learn, then guess what? You do not deserve to be able to have an amazing skill tree, because you have not invested the time into the skill tree to learn it. I understand.
I like that.
I understand it's a game and it should be something enjoyable to learn, and it shouldn't actually feel like a job or feel like a time investment in something, but you should actually be rewarded for your time investment in at least something in the game. And I think the skill tree is one of those things that should absolutely not be catered to people at a completely, below the common equator level. I think we should maintain this things game, and I think the skill tree is one of those things that should absolutely not be catered to people at a completely, below the common equator level. I think we should maintain this one as being difficult.
What they had before was a gigantic, massive tree of 1,000 points with all of the league mechanics that you had to kind of navigate through and spec into. Now they just separated them into different trees, and I believe then they have their general.
Okay, so separating into different trees is actually super nice. Like, do they have the video over here? The passive skill tree. One thing.
Scott. Oh yeah. First of all, welcome back, you Diablo 4 super fans. When will this video be dropped? My video, dudes. I'm just starting now. A week, like probably by the end, hopefully, like, okay, Thursday at the earliest. The latest, oh shit, that's Thanksgiving, isn't it? Damn, guys, it might, I don't know, before PoE2's out. Yeah, before PoE2's out. Yeah, I'm going to include Rod Ferguson's Cope tweet. Let's just see here. So for everyone who's joining, I haven't, there's so much footage. This is just DM's 30-minute piece. I have another DM piece that's,
Suck.
how long is this?
I
don't even know. A long piece, and so I have 2 DM pieces, 3 DM pieces. I have 2 Rax pieces. One called Rax on D4 Season 7. Another one on Rax on PoE2. Rob's video on PoE2. I think I'm going to try throwing in Talkative Try and Aaron RPG. And definitely Hog's going to be in there. Gotta get Riker in there somewhere. Oh wait, did I not label this properly? Give me a second.
Hey everybody, it's
Have it in twice.
Hey everybody, it's Rob here. I've never really got to play much of PoE1. Hey everybody, it's Rob here. Path of
Okay, yeah, I have 2 Robs and an Asmongold. Yes, Asmongold has a video on this.
Alrighty, gentlemen.
And he, of course, he's got like a 2-hour video. So shit, that's gonna be. I might have to go through that next. I haven't seen him talk about any ARPGs in a while. Yep, Asmon's in there. Yeah, a lot of people actually just have their reaction to the live stream as like a whole video. I mean, I did a live stream yesterday watching it, but I was just doing a test on my new stream setup. I should have better quality. It should look better quality and less laggy now. Except my entire stream, for some reason on YouTube, the audio of the video I was watching is so much lower than myself.
I think the skill tree is one of those things that should absolutely not be catered to people at a completely, below the common equator level. I think we should maintain this one as being difficult.
Okay.
What they had before was a gigantic, massive tree of 1,000 points with all of the league mechanics that you had to kind of navigate through and spec into. Now they just separated them into different trees, and I believe then they have their general.
Okay, so separating into different trees is actually super nice. Like, do they have the video over here, the passive skill tree? One thing I like about this is I mentioned this prior, but okay. So let me use this as an example. I'm going to pull this up because I actually think this is a good example. Maybe.
Hey, 8-Bit, how's it going, dude? This is a very weird stream for me because basically I'm just editing a video and people are watching me edit the video. And I got a lot of content to go through. I have hours ahead of me. I just thought, why not stream it while I'm doing it? I mean, it slows me down a bit because I got to read chat and stuff, but this is almost the process.
Good example. Maybe it's not that great. I think it's a good example, so just bear with me here, okay? This is old school RuneScape. Now, one of the things I love about old school RuneScape is there are mini skills. Now,
I mean, look, my only tip if you're editing is organization. Like, this is basically, I have different colors here. So anything DM, usually I'll make purple. So I'll make clip color and I'll just do purple. So anything DM related is purple. And over here, like this right here, he's talking about me. So I made this a different color, orange.
Can you guys imagine the Frosty LaRue video we're going to be getting about all the Diablo 4 players like watching Path of Exile? I can see the title of the video already.
And then Rax is usually blue. So this is like a different color blue over here.
The problem is it lacks an endgame almost entirely.
He's talking about D4. Yeah, I don't know. That's my tip right now. Other than that, so I'm working in DaVinci Resolve right now, only because it works a lot better on my system when I have hours of footage to go through. And then when I find all my clips, I bring it into Premiere, and that's where I have a lot more experience, and then I can kind of do better, finer edits, add the music in, do any animations, because I like doing animations in that program.
What they had before was a gigantic, massive tree of 1,000 points with all of the league mechanics.
Resolve's amazing. You pay for it once, and it's an extremely powerful program. In fact, if you're just doing basic editing, you don't even have to pay for Resolve. So anyone who just kind of has a professional editing program for free, DaVinci Resolve, not a sponsor.
You had to kind of navigate through and spec into. Now they just separated them into different trees, and I believe then they have their general.
Okay, so separating into different.
Okay, I don't need this. I don't need this.
Hang on, let me use this. I think it's a good. I got here. Now, one of the things I love about old school RuneScape is there are mini skills.
Oh, it's kind of random.
Okay.
Could maybe use that.
This is old school RuneScape. Now, one of the things I love about old school RuneScape is there are mini skills. Now, I don't like doing all of these skills. Some of them I like doing, some of them I do not like doing. You'll notice rune crafting is very low, as it should be. I think it's a dog shit skill. Right? Some people enjoy that. Now, in old school RuneScape, if I decide I want to work on mining, that doesn't mean that I'm using a total amount of points that I can only position in some of these skills. You'll notice I have both ranged as well as melee maxed out. I can do both of them. Now, in Path of Exile, you don't really typically have this in Path of
Okay, yeah, I don't know. I might have some random RuneScape in there.
One thing.
I think I'm going to feel like he's not going to talk any more about D4 here, but
Now,
give me a second. DM, PoE, DM. Okay. Search for
D4 player. Let's see D4 live stream. We have it in the bottom right corner. And I was curious, knowing that they decided their campfire is an hour before PoE2. So to be fair, I don't think they knew PoE2 was going to do theirs an hour after. I think that they probably decided it beforehand. The live stream started with a 10% damage buff to a barbarian passive. That
Oh my god. Okay.
before the Path of Exile 2 live stream, when we were sitting in the Path of Exile 2 category, twiddling our thumbs, waiting for 45 minutes before it started, I was watching the D4 live stream. We had it in the bottom right corner. And I was curious, knowing that they decided their campfire is an hour before PoE2. So to be fair, I don't think they knew PoE2 was going to do theirs an hour after. I think that they probably decided it beforehand. The live stream started with a 10% damage buff to a barbarian passive.
It's so good. That is good.
With a 10% damage buff to a barbarian passive. That was like the intro to the Season 7 campfire chat.
Awesome. Oh, hey, thanks for the raid, Saltiest Boy. I'm horrible at names, but thank you so much. And also thanks for the follow, Tatsu Dude and Saltiest Boy.
Reaction every time.
I'm basically just editing literally editing a video live here. So it's a little different than what I normally do.
Just like objectively, I like the changes.
But thanks so much for the raid, dude. Appreciate that.
Now, in Path of Exile...
Oh, thanks, man. Let's see.
D4. This one might be the most, like, the... Also, I do not believe this is anything but a shot at D4. This one... What if you can do that? What if you can pull the shields from the rear of the ship and put them in the front? This actually could be disgusting. Also...
Keep that.
Disgusting. Also, I do not believe this is anything but a shot at D4.
I am the Blizzard. Oh, I saw a meme. Oh, I gotta get that in here. Ooh. Let's see if I can find it for you guys. Damn it. So, you know that meme with the guy like pointing at his eyes and he's like, he's like, basically, I am the Blizzard now is what PoE2 is telling Diablo 4. Except I don't think I'm going to be able to find it. I'm not going to waste everyone's time for me finding it right now. Are you planning to play the early access? Yes. Yes, I am actually. Holy shit. Shellblock, thanks for the follow. I just hit a follower goal. I appreciate that a lot.
Now, in Path...
Okay, I have to label this before I have ADD and I get distracted pretty easily. So editing takes me probably even longer than normal for some people.
Now, in Path of Exile...
Unmedicated, by the way. I don't take anything, so just let my brain go where it wants to.
You don't really typically have this in Path of Exile 1. You have, I'm going to about... I wasn't fair after that they probably decided it beforehand. The live streams have to get with the...
Okay, we're done at this point. It's over. Is there any more D4 direct bashing going on?
D4 brain, that's 15, right?
Oh my god.
So if you can have 15 more, because there's 3 new skill spots, there's 5 support spots through each one of those. 3 times 5, what is that quickly? D4 brain, that's 15, right? That seems really good.
I'll take that. It's fine. Yeah, okay, sorry. I'm going to be playing PoE2. I have the $30 supporter pack. what's everyone going to play? I'm leaning towards, I like Frost Magic and I like bow classes a lot, but I didn't see anything from the Ranger that was like, hell yes. It was just like, okay, you're shooting a bow. Yes, you get chain lightning on some of your arrows. That's cool. But then I saw the monk and I was like, you know, dude, that frost magic is pretty cool. The sorcerer has frost magic, but they didn't highlight it. It seems to be like sorcerer's like fire and lightning. The monk had kind of the coolest frost magic, so that's what I was going for. Bow monk, that's cool. Mercenary. Hey, Brow, how's it going, dude? I am downloading. I'm basically editing, dude, and I think Aaron had a video on some PoE2 stuff with Rod Ferguson that I think I'm going to be adding into my next video.
Numbers. Balance changes aren't even ever brought up in these PoE announcements unless it's like thrown in during a montage where it's like, hey, hi, I'm Chris Wilson with Grinding Gear Game. Hi, I'm thrown in during a montage.
What's happening here? Why is he doing a voice?
Numbers. Balance changes aren't even ever brought up in these PoE announcements unless it's like thrown in during a montage where it's like, hey, hi, I'm Chris Wilson with Grinding Gear Games. In Path of Exile 1's next league, you're going to have 55 new in-game content. Oh, and by the way, after talking about it for an hour and showing footage of all the actual content, then it's like, here's what else is happening. 15 new gems, balance changes for melee, you know, we're reworking this. Like, all of these reworks are thrown into a B-roll montage at the end. They're basically reading us patch notes. And balance changes are sold as actual changes. And it's not necessarily, I'm trying not to send shots at them. I'm just saying, like, the reason that I think people get salty when they're like, oh, everyone's so hyped about PoE is they know how to present good.
Oh my God.
They know how. If you're doing Giants Bane, it might actually be kind of good for this because, so the reason is you.
Okay. Any more D4 stuff?
D4 because it wasn't like D2, but to literally copy D2 and do what they do. I don't argument because I think a lot of people argue that not only were they disappointed in D4 because it wasn't like D2, but to literally copy D2 and do what they do. I don't think when you have something good, I've never seen that happen in an ARPG. I don't know what he's talking about. PoE2 is good.
Something that happens almost every time a new action RPG launches is people saying there isn't enough in-game content.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Disappointed in D4 because it wasn't like D2, but to literally copy D2 and do what they do. I don't think when you have something good, the concept is to completely depart from what is good and make something totally different. I'm not asking for Path of Exile to make an MMORPG or a survival game. I want them to make Path of Exile again, but better. So when I see things like, Path of Exile 2 is reusing content, I just think, good. Did we not just roast Blizzard for saying, why didn't you guys make Diablo 2 again? Like, we literally just made this argument to that one. So why is it a problem now?
I don't think it's a problem now, but I guess there's a lot of people that are like, I'm a pretty new to PoE. I played it a long time ago. I actually played it in beta and I just it wasn't my thing. Recently I started playing it again, really casually. I just beat the campaign and maybe I'll beat the campaign again. I was planning on playing it again before PoE 2 came out, but, you know, I had to edit. I have to edit stuff and it's just kind of taking a lot of time. So I'm going to keep that line. That's a very good line. Get rid of this. We're going to color this purple because purple's DM's color in my editing program. That's what I'm going to do.
But
there's a lot of shit here. And I am just going to search for through this.
Concerning my second test, I was starting to have more experience in
What's that?
PoE1. It's my
All right, let me see. Bow Monk. Oh, yeah, okay. People are just saying what classes they're going to go. I kind of think I'm going to mix Monk with Sorcerer, because Sorcerer has a certain passive skill that make it so triggers on freeze. So Monk has abilities that could freeze, and the passive skill does something when things are frozen. So I think that's going to be a pretty sweet idea.
experience talking to
Mr. Osmosis, thanks for the really nice comment, dude.
Jonathan, because when I flew down 3 times to LA to test the game, and while the game looked good, my first test I was like, oh, this is kind of concerning. My second test I was starting to have more faith because they addressed a lot of the things that we were concerned about almost immediately. But in the second flight down there, talking to them,
8-bit, what's happening there? Some guy being weird? $1.5 hour long reskin vomit. If he posts again, I'll ban him. But like, I just think he's going to like every PoE2 stream and just posting the same thing. I don't care enough. D4 player having a crisis. I don't know. I don't know if that's even maybe that's just Rod Ferguson himself.
I had an interview segment that I was allowed. I could have brought my
It's weird that, D4 didn't accept me to the creator program for some reason. I have no idea why.
camera, shoved it in his face, and interviewed him and put it on my YouTube. But I turned off the camera and they said, hey, I just want to talk to you. And he went all the way through his lunch break just talking with me. So I talked to him for about a half hour in which I just blabbed about the game, asked him questions, and we just talked like human to human for a moment. And I came out of that conversation being like, number one, guy is 0% fake. There's absolutely no persona, no fakeness, no pretending, and most importantly, no PR. He's just talking about the game. Number two, he's passionate. He actually legitimately loves the game he's talking about, so he cares about the product. He's not an outside hire that came from some corp that has 15 different lineages of games that they have history of. It isn't he's in there because he gives a fuck about the game from the start. And then number three, which is probably arguably more important point, he actually knows the game. Who would have guessed? And I had done other interviews online before, but I never got a chance to.
I don't know. Like, if I end up doing a lot of Path of Exile stuff, I'm gonna be like, welcome back, you of Exile. It feels weird saying Path of Exile 2. It's like really long. Path of Exile 2. Of Exile 2. 5 syllables. Diablo 4. Okay, Diablo 4 Superfan is actually much longer than Path of Exile. No, Path of Exile 2 Super. It's one more syllable. It's ruining my flow.
And after talking to him, I was just like, okay, like there's any concerns I have related to the game, either its development or the company and all that, basically completely evaporated because I could tell the dude's he's just a real dude. Like, he's 100% a real dude. And after that, that's really when I was like, okay, I actually have faith. Like, that will give me actual faith in the company.
Okay, I'm gonna skip through this. Let's just see. Ooh, okay. I like that. So we're gonna go look at his yeah, he made a poll. This is what I was curious on.
Pull up a straw poll. Let's see if this mirrors yesterday. Okay, it's kind of a battle. I mean, Merc's out in front. Sork's.
The mercenary does look to be very sick. I just don't like guns. And it looks like, I know it's crossbows, but it looks like a gun. It's annihilating screens. It has frost magic. It has tons of explosions. It gets an extra skill slot. It completely moves while doing damage. Merc seems ridiculous. Sorcerer, tons of cool moves also. Witch was probably the most hyped class before this new 4-hour long presentation.
Secondary, Witch, Monk, Warrior, Ranger.
Oh shit. Shupa, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that.
I mean, Merc's ahead today. Poor Ranger. Yeah, no one wants to play the
Ranger.
Dude,
the Ranger. Look at Ranger. It's like always so low. Like, no one likes Ranger. It's just, what do they do wrong? Are they just not showing the right skills? Like, yeah, it's ascendancy. You could fire 2 projectiles every hit, or you just move quicker. And then you get like Monk, which is like double shields, can steal souls. You get like the Witch, which turns into like fucking a demon and explodes in fire. And okay, it's the same as PoE1. So I guess the audience watching Darth right now is fans of PoE, and they're just like, I don't want to replay that. And Merc is a new class. Sorcerer is always fun. Witch was super hyped up. Monk seems fairly new to me, and also anyone from Diablo is just who's missing the monk, doesn't have monk. All right, makes sense.
The reason is people are looking for flashy new stuff. They want to try something. Maybe this isn't going to be what they'll main for 5 years, but they want what they're interested in trying.
Yeah, okay, so the Ranger doesn't need accuracy, but that's like, okay, cool. You don't need to use those skill points in the tree. That's a good min-max meta build concept. It's not selling me. It's not being like, dude, that's so cool. It doesn't need accuracy.
Being voted on right now. So you're looking for something kind of flashy that has maybe some skills from the assistance that's only locked. So number 1 with Mercenary. Okay, so this is different than what happened yesterday. Warrior and Ranger seem consistently on the least played down here. Monk was the one that got the most votes yesterday, and then after that was Sork, then Merc. So Monk and Merc were actually flip-flopped yesterday, but otherwise...
Okay, I think Monk is actually starting to be less popular, because there was... I need to download the full stream. Let's see if I can find it in Asmongold's clip. I'm not gonna know where it is. It was such like a small section, and it was like, yeah, I don't know. They're just trying to get lucky here. So they were doing something called like a blink strike attack. They were teleporting around and doing tons of damage, and it looked so cool. And then if you actually looked at the skills, it was a cooldown move, and it was a really long cooldown move. All right, someone's talking in all caps. All right, William, I understand your frustration. You come to share your frustration with Diablo 4. D4 is the only game in 8 years that I regret buying. Forgot what fun was when playing D4. That never happens to me. Dude, D4 is the best game ever. I mean, come on, dude. I don't know what you're talking about. Have you tried the Vessel of Hatred, William? Because that game, I mean, you play Spiritborn and whoo, you're gonna have a good time. You're gonna have a good time.
The Warrior and Ranger.
Ban William? No, he's allowed to share his frustration. It's not like he's spamming.
Being on the bottom wasn't exactly in this order as well. I saw this one here. I want to watch this. Path of Exile 2.
You know what? Okay, Brow, you're here on Twitch. Nostramo, you're here on YouTube. Everyone's super excited about the Infinite Atlas endgame. Now, I think you both have played Last Epoch. Isn't corruption infinite in Last Epoch? And it basically has an atlas. And a lot of people got bored of their infinite corruption building atlas endgame and quit. But people are seeing this and they're like, holy shit, that is awesome. Why are people just like rose-colored glasses with this infinite atlas? Or it's just because GGG's making it and they're like, they're going to do a better job. We trust them. I think it's that.
ADHD version by Lily. I watched a couple of her videos recently. This is a new one.
Luminaxar, welcome back, dude. Also, thanks for the sub, dude. Really appreciate that. 5 months from Luminaxar. Am I going to include Rod's tweet? Yes, I am going to include Rod's tweet. Let's see. I already have a little bit here. Where are you?
Oh my goodness. Hogs got the video. Path of Exile 2 reveal was so epic it steamed Rod Ferguson. All right, what is
the
it?
genre of ARPG is starting to mean a lot of different things. Much like Souls-like and roguelike, I wonder if we could normalize Diablo-like for ARPGs that follow the Diablo formula.
This
he would love for the Diablo like term to be coined and be like, oh dude, Rod Ferguson was the person to come up with that awesome name.
ADHD version of Path of Exile 2.
Of support gems.
Shit, that actually might be the title of my video. Like PoE2, the best Diablo-like game, or something. I'll figure it out. Or maybe I'll just start off being like, one of the best Diablo-like games coming out in 2024 is PoE2.
ADHD version of Path of Exile 2.
Of support gems.
Have a good night, 8-bit.
Charms. One hand, two-hander, gambling. Currency exchange, infinite.
Okay, so it's a banger already. We're 5 seconds into it. I'm already giving it a like.
If you die, your map can no longer be run. Nameless Seer. These are just some of the things that are going to be in PoE2. You can shoot while moving now. And on the same topic, I think most players are going to opt for WSD. Personally, I don't like WSD.
Yeah, WASD is...
Okay, guys, WASD, and I mean, I bought a controller for Monster Hunter World, and I may try this. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, you can't. Hold on a second, guys. I have a... Don't worry about that. Let's see if you can even see these. So these are little paddles on the back. There we go. And so these paddles, I can hit those buttons instead of having to move my fingers from this joystick here. Whoop, joystick here. God, it's so dark. You can't even see it. To like these A, B, whatever, X, Y crap. Trust me, it's a game changer. I got a messed up thumb. Yeah, dude, we said the same thing. Serious. The extra paddles are a game changer. It really is. Also, the controller has turbo on it. And for some reason, don't quote me on this, you don't get banned for using a turbo controller, but you get banned for having, you know, a program that auto hits one button for you.
It's gonna, I think, be a preference. Maybe some
I am
people that
blaming
are
on the
like
thumbs.
used to RPGs and with mouse moving aren't gonna want to go back and try something new. I understand. The thing though is with controller as well as WASD, you kind of get like not an innate advantage, but it feels better because actually where you're looking matters. Like you're actually supposed to look in a direction to both cast a skill or block a skill. If
I
you're using
agree.
shield and
I played PoE2 already. I can probably say that. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that or not. Either way, I signed an NDA. I'm not going to be like Ghazi and tell you. However, I only got to level 10. You've already seen like everything I probably have already played. ASDW felt great. You don't want to just play like how you've been normally playing Diablo or whatever game you're playing that's an ARPG. ASDW is the way to go, especially if you're some kind of range class.
And because of that, joystick, you know, from the controller or WASD just seems to be like pretty crucially important. Plus, like things like the Ranger, where you have 30% less movement penalty, like you can actually kind of walk and shoot almost like it's an
Literally
Xbox
just
arcade
said
game
this,
back in the
yeah.
day. So I would assume that WASD or controller are going to be a pretty heavy preference.
When I played it in PoE2, it actually feels very good and smooth. There's over 400 monster types in early access, so don't expect to see Tomb Lord 45 times.
That's good. Okay.
5 times. Expect to see 2 types in early access. There's over good and smooth.
All right. God. Tomb Lord. Oh, this is Lily? Is that her name? All right, I'll have to give her credit.
There's over 400 monster types in early access, so don't expect to see Tomb Lord 45 times.
No Tomb Lord in PoE2. I'm uninstalling and refunding all of my packs, to be fair. I would promised Tomb Lord, I should be delivered upon Tomb Lord.
The
Good.
outside.
And of course, DM's doing his signature pose where he picks at his beard while thinking. Oh, okay. William asks, what editing software would be good for someone brand new to content creating and is free? It depends what you're trying to do. The most basic thing, like if you just want to be super basic, no, iMovie. That's for Mac, Windows Movie Maker, PC. But really, really what you want to do is it's called DaVinci Resolve. It's what I'm using right now. I use multiple editing programs, but DaVinci Resolve is super good. Very advanced, and it's free. You can pay extra to get some extra features, but you don't need that for basic editing. I like using Premiere Pro because I'm an editor for a company and I get it for free. So it's a monthly payment and I'm able to record my voice directly into the program for voiceovers. I think I can do that with this too. Let's see. I don't have it set up. I don't know if I can do it. I also am just way used to Premiere Pro, but DaVinci Resolve, William, that's what you should be playing, editing with.
The Atlas will have biomes with specific encounters /items /unique maps.
I wonder if that means the unique maps are based upon where you're pathing. So like if I wanted to do an XP speedrun, I was trying to get as much XP as possible. If I'm trying to get Tainted Paradise, I need to be on the side of the
beard. Yeah, no, he's got like a little stubble. He's got like a little, not a beard. He's picking his stubble.
map that has a beach, for instance, in order to get Untainted Paradise, meaning the information we have on the map might tell me where to go in order to try to target certain unique maps. As
okay.
Know about this is watch the monkey. Okay, he summons the monkey and then it just runs away and does nothing. This is all we know so far.
Ancestral spirits linked to each of your totems.
There he goes. He runs into a wall and that's it. That's all I've seen from that ascendancy. And then the other ascendancy is an oh shit button, or the other ability so far is an oh shit button.
You can encase your body in a...
The thing is with PoE2, there's nothing to really make fun of. So when it comes to my parody videos, I don't have anything for PoE2. I can make fun of Diablo 4 in relation to PoE2 right now. Once PoE2 is out, I can maybe then start making some parody videos directly on PoE2. But until, like, I wonder how the launch is going to go. Might do a tier list comparing Vessel of Hatred, Last Epoch, PoE2, see where they rank, because I'm sure they're all going to be pretty bad.
Protective layer that absorbs
which is like, oh no, I'm bad, let me hit this button. So far what I've seen is you summon a monkey that runs away from you, and then you become encased in jade, and it's just an oh shit button. In which you're probably after that then going to get one shot because you're going to get surrounded. This is like Zanya's hourglassing in the middle of a team fight when your whole team's dead literally anyway. Like,
see, something like that, like this is like Zanya's hourglassing. I don't know what the hell that means. If you play PoE for, I don't know, 1,000 hours or something, like you probably know what he's talking about. I don't know what he's talking about. Not yet.
about hitting big.
slams. We're going to be using slams anyway in the combination.
Okay. I'm skipping to the end here. Oh.
Or doing one of those.
We're going to get to Asmongold in a second.
Weapons like the swords, axe, etc. It has
Zanya is a League of Legends item? Is he talking about League of Legends, though?
Double the requirement. Well, if you're having to use all of these different gems, like you want to do support gem, blue one, green one, whatever have you, then you can't really afford to not stack.
No, Luminax are. There's going to be stability issues. There's going to be server issues. There's going to be problems for PoE2 launch. Now, if there are no problems, and you come back here, I will gift a PoE2 copy to someone in chat. And look, I can really stretch the truth. Like, hey, there was that minor problem, but like, look, if it just supposed to launch at 1 p.m. Eastern time, 1 p.m. Eastern time happens, everyone logs in, servers are smooth, I'm gifting one. Okay, that's it. But like, that is not going to happen. There was 200,000 people watching the stream on Twitch. A lot of people are going to be playing. It comes out on a Friday. That seems a little. What game comes out on a Friday that? I don't know, guys. People are going to be the whole company's going to be staying there that weekend to just like make sure the servers are fine.
The one stat you're going to need for like 2 inmates, like you need a shitload of strength to hold these, right?
All PoE leagues come out on Friday. Yeah, but they're launching a game on a Friday. PoE league, like when a league launches, it's smooth. Like maybe there's a minor issue with like a bug, but typically it's smooth. Like I don't hear any problems, but a game launch is not usually that smooth. And here's the thing, like I know it's Last Epoch, but they had an active running game for like a full year plus. And then when they decided we're launching our 1.0 patch, that brought in so many people. And they were like ready for it. They did some stress tests and stuff. They weren't expecting 200,000 plus people all trying to log in at once. PoE2 had 200,000 plus people just watching the stream. I think they're going to have over 1 million people logging in at that moment. Guys, I think PoE2 is going to be in the top 10 most concurrent players on Steam charts. It's going to be a massive amount of people.
So of this, then if you are stacking all of that strength that you need in order to use the two-handers, now all of the gems you're going to be completely.
Right, does he have anything else?
Never happened.
Okay, here we go.
Something that happens almost every time a new action RPG launches is people saying there isn't enough in-game content.
Nah, that's never happened. I've personally, I've never seen that happen in an ARPG. I don't know what he's talking about. PoE2 is good, but what about the reused content? I don't really understand this argument because I think a lot of people argue that not only were they disappointed in D4 because it wasn't like D2, but to literally copy D2 and do what they do. I don't think when you have something good, the concept is to completely depart from what is good and make something totally different. I'm not asking for Path of Exile to make an MMORPG.
Oh, wait, okay. The Galaxy Master, you're saying they're going to do a stress test? Are you for real? Like, are they going to do an open beta for the early access? Are they going to do an open beta for the early access where people can stress test the cert now? Because that'd be so interesting to be like, we're going to stress test the beta before this. I don't know. It's hurting my brain.
Game. I want them to make Path of Exile again, but better. So when I see things like, Path of Exile 2 is reusing content, I just think, good. Did we not just...
How do they stress test to have 300,000 players or more? Just kind of like what Diablo did. They advertise through KFC. You get an extra item, a special item you can only get if you log on this weekend, which was the Ashava trophy mount. Ashava trophy for your mount. And people were dying to play Diablo, and they're like, holy shit, we're going to be able to play this weekend. And they came out with like a stupid song and like got like Megan Fox to advertise it. So that's all PoE2 needs to do. By the way, it looks like a great game. This is my only criticism. They need to put more money into advertising. They need to team up with Taco Bell. They need to get Mountain Dew to be like, yo, we're just gonna put your logo on our shit. Like, I know it's a lot of money, but I think they'll make double the amount of sales if they advertise through those means. So they might do that when the actual game launches. Maybe not for early access. So early access, they're gonna get a ton of money. They can put that money like the way these games usually go, let's just say they have like a $10 million. It's like, let's just say they have like a $1 million budget, right? $2 million to make it easy. They'll put $1 million into the game and they'll literally put another full million into advertising the game. Because these days it's like, yeah, the game could be good, the game could be bad. As long as it is good enough in the first hour or two and they can't refund it on Steam, they just need to sell copies. And I don't think GGG is doing that. But advertising is huge. And I do think they need to look more into that. Like, I'm not seeing commercials on TV. I'm not seeing advertisements online. Other than the fact that all the streamers are talking about it, how would I know PoE2 is even coming out? Like, have you guys seen advertisements outside of maybe seeing like on a gaming website, a little banner saying something like, or your streamer talking about it, or your YouTube subscription people talking about it? Like, have you seen like a billboard in like a subway? Have you seen it anywhere?
Saying, why didn't you guys make Diablo 2 again? Like, we literally we just made this.
That's okay. Luminaxar says they were at Gamescom. That is good advertising. That's actually very good advertising. But you get the gamers who watch Gamescom. Diablo 4 sold so many copies because they teamed up with KFC. They had commercials with Megan Fox. They're just like, but then again, they have Blizzard money, and Blizzard money is I know that. Sorry, take that back. They had Activision money. GGG doesn't have Activision money, but maybe they will if this game blows up.
Argument.
You get Tencent money. What 10-cent games are you seeing though, like being advertised? Maybe this game's going to be advertised in like Asia a bit more because of Tencent, but I don't think Tencent cares about advertising.
To that one. So why is it a problem now? It's not. Okay, that's what we wanted. When I saw this, all I thought was 07 in chat for Blight. It was an honor. It was an honor serving with you, gents. Too many theories about adequate information? Well, brother, it's called being drip-fed. A starving man does not say, I don't have enough food, so I'm not going to eat what's available. A starving man gobbles up the food in front of him. I'm a starving man. I'm starving for Path of Exile 2 content, so I'm going to rewatch the same live stream for 15 days in a row until this game's out, okay? Welcome. Okay, boys, 24.
Okay.
Available. Yeah, starving man gobbles up the food in front of him. I am a starving man. I'm starving for Path of Exile 2 content, so I'm not going to eat what's available. A starving man gobbles up the food in front of him.
Okay, hold on a second. I'll find it. I have a clip of him saying he's not starving, but whatever.
I am a starving man.
Almorima, thank you for the nice comment. I'm sorry for butchering your name.
I'm starving for Path of Exile 2 content, so I'm going to rewatch the same live stream for 15 days in a row until this game's out, okay? Welcome. Okay, boys, 24th, we will be having the interview with Jonathan.
Oh, that's That's today or Sunday. That's tomorrow for some people.
Boom. Make sure you're here for this 9 p.m. CET. I think that's noon PST, otherwise known as 3 p.m. EST on the 24th about PoE2. Plan is to
Okay, guys, well, tune in.
go live every day on this channel at noon PST. So if you're interested in watching Path of Exile content, talking about the latest news, theory crafting, and all this shit leading up to the launch of the game, that will be here on this channel. Appreciate y'all.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So that was me. Hold on, let me just collect
I'm a
this.
starving man. I'm starving. Okay, boys. 24th. Okay.
All right. So that was me collecting clips from just one video, and that video is only 30 minutes long. Typically, I will, like, on game launch days, I'll download a 20-hour stream, and that's just one person have to go through that and collect clips. And I mean, it gives me a lot to work with. But yeah, this is these are Darth's clip from that one video, which I will label. Let's call this DM1 overview. Good night, William. GGG equals Tencent. I think they get the money from Tencent, and obviously they have to pay Tencent because they're owned by them. But like how Blizzard was when Activision first bought out Blizzard, they were able to be autonomous for some amount of time until Activision basically was like, Bobby Kotick is now your new head of Blizzard, so deal with it. Then shit hit the fan. I don't think that's happened yet with GGG. But it'd be pretty freaking ridiculous if out of nowhere it's like 10 cents like, guess what, GGG? Bobby Kotick's coming. He's fucking gonna drive your game into the ground. I don't think that's gonna happen though. All right, Esme Gold is a long video. Okay, who should I edit next? Riker, Rax, another DM, or Asmongold? God. I think this is what I just watched. DM. All right, we'll do Riker. Yeah, we'll do wait a second. Did I not label this properly? Reveal file location. Yeah, I didn't label him Riker, but I'll label him Riker in here. Riker. 8.
Hey folks, this is Riker, and this week saw the most hype live stream the ARPG world has ever seen.
Diablo 4.
The announcement of Diablo 4 Season 7. No, obviously
yeah.
it was Path of Exile too.
Yeah, we're using that. Thank you, Riker. I'm stealing your intro. You're just fucking. Yeah, you're the best. We're keeping that. All right, let's see. Does he make fun of Diablo?
Diablo 4 Season 7. Diablo 4 did reveal its Season 7 this week as well. It'll be the season of the Witch Doctor, basically.
That's such... Everyone hates the Witch Doctor.
Hey folks, this is Riker, and this week saw the most hype live stream the ARPG world. PoE2 blew everyone away with this early access reveal. We'll give a rundown of everything they spoke about and why I think some of the decisions they've made are particularly genius. Diablo 4 did reveal its Season 7 this week as well. It'll be the season of the Witch Doctor, basically.
Okay, we're keeping that too. He's thank you. Thank you.
D4 also accidentally had a super exciting one-day holiday event this week.
What does that mean? Is he talking about the potions?
We'll cover all that and other gaming news of the week in this video, including the controversy at the Game Awards. But before we go on, a quick word for this video's sponsor.
Oh God, I think I have to watch this sponsor.
My on display.
Sorry, Riker. Sorry. Sorry. I think I have to. I think.
Best part mount. If you're worried about making holes in your walls, you don't have to. It's just a simple magnet. You stick it to the wall, and then the metal disc plate sticks to the magnet. You don't have to be a handyman. It takes seconds to mount a disc plate, and then you can swap your disc plates around whenever you want because it's literally just being held by.
That's true. I can edit his. I just. He watches all my videos. I just want to promote his sponsor. So
Which gets you 44% off.
During Black Friday, enjoy up to 44% off.
This isn't applicable to limited edition and Lumino.
His video is I don't know. Go check out his channel. It's
tactile displays. So you use my link in the description where the discount will be applied automatically, or use code Riker when you check out to get the biggest display discount of the year. You gotta act fast.
Display, use code Riker. There you go, guys.
So
there you go. Super cool stuff. Galaxy, you deleted Diablo 4. Was it to make room for the PTR of Season 7 of Diablo 4? That's what I'm assuming you were doing.
So, the biggest news of the week has got to be Path of Exile 2. We got the game's opening CGI cinematic, the early access.
Wait, let me see here.
Diablo 2, 3, and 4 displays. There's over 2 million Diablo, Diablo 3. And if so, I love this. My first PoE2 Diablo 2, but now you can have skills set such as Diablo 4 news. This week saw the release of the mid-season patch and the kickoff of the events that we spoke about last week. Following the patch, Cinder drop rates in Helltide seem insane now. One Blood Maiden event can get you like 750 cinders. The buffs to Conduit Shrines don't quite seem to be enough. Again, not enough damage, and the reduced mobility on top of that makes it feel even worse.
Okay, I don't know if Riker's gonna really be like have a lot of funny stuff, but
this week saw the release of the mid-season patch. The recommendation here continues to be to either temporarily remove Conduit Shrines in Torment 4 or replace them with the Diablo 3 version, ideally, in the long run. And while no one seems particularly excited for this year's version of the Midwinter event, there actually was a surprise event that everyone was really excited for. A bug was discovered with the elixir of anti-venom that was basically causing people to have a huge amount of health and deal big damage. Rather than provide the 15% buff to your life that it says it's supposed to do,
so annoyed that this got nerfed.
Was giving you 15 times your life.
So annoyed.
And since Spiritborn can scale damage based on life, well, you can guess what happened next. Speed pit 150s, breaking all records. 150s for everyone. The bug lasted for about a day before Blizzard patched it. And the irony is that this was basically what I was suggesting as an event to run to buff every class but the Spiritborn, right? Spiritborn is a million times stronger than every other class, so give the other classes some crazy silly buff that chat for season 7, which is looking really promising. The season theme itself is the biggest we've gotten yet. Give the other classes some crazy silly buff that's only temporary to be competitive with the Spiritborn, just so everyone gets a taste of that Spiritborn power. You know, people were hyped. People played a ton during this elixir bug. And once it was fixed, they peaced out. But man, for that one day, that was one exciting event.
That's it. Yeah. That'll be in the video somewhere. It's a lot, but it's so true. He does talk about how the seasons don't have much gimmicks in them. Did he use the word gimmick for season?
Season 7, no, obviously it was Path of the season coming up. These make for great gifts. Mid-season patch and the kickoff of the season 7, which is looking really promising.
Okay, here, but actually I think he's about to say it.
We also got this week the campfire chat for season 7, which is looking really promising. The season theme itself is the biggest we've gotten yet. I'm not going to say the entire season is the biggest, given, you know, we had a bunch of new systems added in season 6, but if we're talking about the theme itself, right, compared to season 1 theme, 2, 3, etc., season 7's theme is the biggest yet. It's basically a mashup of season 2 and season 1, but now with Diablo 3 Witch Doctor powers instead of blood powers. I've got a full video with a breakdown of everything, including the return of Piranado. Do check that out. Season 7 will also bring in the armory, which will allow us to save and swap between different builds. Season 7 will nerf Spiritborn down to reasonable power levels by fixing the bugs and also nerfing the Rod of Kepalepi really hard. Its unique power is going from a 3% bonus down to a 0.5% bonus. Huge decrease there. And amidst the buffs to other classes, there was a surprise nerf to Sorcerer. The Firebolt enchantment will no longer deliver burning, and damage stacking via burning won't really be a thing anymore. So this is basically a nerf to all Sorcerer builds, which, you know, pretty much every Sorcerer build built for burning to stack that damage. But it does seem like the devs are bringing in other places to make up for that damage loss. We'll kind of have to see when PTR.
All right. Let me read my stuff because I was drinking chips from the bag. Yes, I drink chips from the bag. Do you want me to like just pick one out and eat it? Like, look at this. Look at this little chip. By the way, this is Cheetos, crunchy, white cheddar. No artificial colors, though. It's healthy. Healthy Cheetos.
Launches where the Sorcerer's power level lies. That's going to be on December 3rd. Now, Season 6 already put more pressure on us for stash space, right? We have runes now, that's more stuff to hold on our stash. In Season 7, they're adding more runes, so that's more things to hold. The Dark Citadel added a whole new suite of consumables that we gotta stack up.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I have to interject here, Riker, but I agree with you completely. How annoying is it that the rune tab, the tab with the new rune system, doesn't have enough spaces to hold every rune? It could almost hold every rune, besides like 5. And so then you need to just throw all of your runes into one stash tab. So now you've almost eliminated one stash tab to just fill it with runes. It's essentially you have, instead of 6 stash tabs, you have 5 stash tabs. And one of those stash tabs is like for all of your excess stuff, like boss materials and Nightmare Dungeon keys. So why just they don't have Nightmare Dungeon keys, boss materials, runes? Why do they have to be physically held? It's taking up way too much room. But yeah, let's probably get into that.
Otherwise, just get rid of, right? We have Scrolls of Restoration. Once we get the armory, we're going to need room to store entirely different gear sets.
Yes.
For each character that we have. Imagine if you had 5 characters, each with 5 gear sets. So there's just not enough stash space for all of that. Now, most people aren't going to run 5 characters with 5 gear sets, but still, I can see us rapidly running out of stash space here. I think getting specialized stash tabs would be great. Like a tab to hold runes at the very least, especially if they plan to keep adding runes every season. Because runes are something that we kind of have to stock up on. Now, moving on to some other major industry news, it looks like Sony is trying to acquire Kadokawa, a Japanese megacore and one of the largest entertainment companies in Japan. Kadokawa has confirmed that Sony has made them an offer, but that no decision has yet been made. Kadokawa dominates the anime and manga industry. This acquisition would be enormous for Sony, who already owns Funimation, Crunchyroll, and Aniplex. And it would shake up the market and be a step towards Sony monopolizing the Japanese entertainment industry altogether. Now you might wonder, why am I talking about this in a gaming news video?
Yeah.
Well, Kadokawa has 26 games in development, 20 console games, 6 mobile games, and they also own a...
Okay, I got it.
Nominees for Best Game Direction are Rebirth, Like a Dragon, It's Not Fair, Expansion. Supporters for making these videos possible. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up.
All right, he didn't have a lot for me to work with. I'm gonna have to download another Riker video. Like, this is plenty.
Hey folks, this is Riker, and this week saw the most hype live stream the ARPG world has ever seen. The announcement of Diablo 4 Season 7. No, obviously it was Path of Exile 2. Diablo 4 did reveal its Season 7 this week as well. It'll be the season of the Witch Doctor, basically. D4 also accidentally had a super exciting...
Okay, hold on a second. I'm just gonna play around with this little edit. I usually just find clips. I don't edit yet, but...
Hey folks, this is Riker, and this week saw the most hype live stream the ARPG world has ever seen. The announcement of D4 also accidentally had a super exciting... Diablo 4 did reveal its season... The announcement of Diablo 4 Season 7... No, obviously. Diablo 4 did reveal its Season 7 this... Diablo 4 did reveal its season. Diablo 4 Season 7 this week. 7 this week as well. It'll be the season of... The announcement of Diablo 4 Season... It'll be the season... Diablo 4 season of the... Diablo 4 season of the Witch Doctor, basically. Hey folks, this is Riker, and this week saw the most hype live stream the ARPG world has ever seen. The announcement of Diablo 4 season of the Witch Doctor, basically.
All right, there we go. Let's keep that. I'm not sure if I'm using that. Forced PSN account, dude. They're not gonna do that. They did that. They tried doing that with shit. What was the game? Everyone came down with guns, fought bugs. Joel was the leader of controlling all the armies. Oh my god, Helldivers 2. Thank you. Yeah, they're not doing that. People raged on Helldivers 2 for when them doing that. There's no way. Here's the thing though. So instead of Sony didn't force PSN accounts, they just Helldivers 2 just stopped offering the game, or PlayStation stopped offering the game in countries that didn't have PSN network access. Something along those lines. It was pretty ridiculous. All right, so we have our Riker lines. We're going to probably need to find some more. It's not enough. Let's get Rax on D4 season 7. His entire, I remember him doing this. He did it right before PoE launched.
Let's do a quick update, and then we go PoE2.
That's good enough.
Yeah. Okay, so the Season 7 PTR starts on December 3rd. Class updates, Barb's getting a lot of buffs. They said they're really behind. Hoda and Leapquake. They're nerfing the Firebolt enchantment and the Devouring Blaze, and I don't think we're getting anything. They didn't say we're getting anything for it, so it's just nerfed, so that's bad. Ball Lightning is getting buffed. They're having 2 competing uniques. I believe it's in the offhand slot, so you can build your Ball Lightning differently. The idea of this is good. This is something that I wish was in the skill tree, where you could actually build completely different setups.
Jorgen Gaming, thanks for the raid, dude. Really appreciate that. Chaos KX, thank you for the follow. I'm literally just editing a video right now. You guys don't know me, Frosty LaRue on YouTube. I do parody videos making fun of D4, working on PO. It's literally, let's just, okay, I'll have DM explain it.
Yeah.
Can you guys imagine the Frosty LaRue video we're going to be getting about all the Diablo 4 players like watching Path of Exile? I can see the title of the video already.
And that's what I'm working on now. Jorgen, what do you edit with? I'm editing on DaVinci right now, but I also use Premiere.
Path of Exile 2 may be the ARPG of the future.
In my opinion, this is one of the strongest announcements I've ever seen in the history of ARPGs. Let's go to Diablo 4. Diablo 4 has different problems.
Nice.
Diablo 4 has almost no barrier to entry. They're great for casual players. It's not complicated and it's not intimidating at all, which is why Diablo 4 sold so well. The problem is it lacks an endgame almost entirely. There truly is nothing to do.
Holy shit, dude. Dude, back to back, saying the same thing. All right, you guys ready for why I'm excited for PoE2 as a D4 player? Let's see if Rob has drunken from the well of Path of Exile and is now a convert.
After playing PoE2 for a few hours already, and now...
You know, I've never edited with Filmora. I've only heard of it. I'm actually like a corporate editor for my work, and I use Premiere. I've been learning DaVinci because there's a lot of cool aspects in DaVinci. Also, especially if you're doing what I'm doing and you're taking people's stream and they have music in the background, and you just click on their audio and you go here to vocal isolation, it removes all the music in their background and you can hear them pretty well. It's like such a lifesaver for me.
Seeing the app.
All right, let's get back to I just did Riker.
Hey folks, this is Riker. Hey folks, this is Riker. And this week saw the most hype live stream the ARPG
Why is it lagging?
world has ever seen. The announcement of Diablo 4 Season 7. No, obviously it was Path of Exile 2. Diablo 4 did review.
Yep. And now we're doing a little bit of Rax recap on Season 7. I don't know if there's going to be much here to work with. We're just doing a quick recap, so I'm just trying to get anything bad out of this. I've seen the Rob Beavis comparison. I feel like that's a little bit more mean than I would do. I make fun of stuff specifically about Diablo 4 or people who are public figures of gaming companies. If you're just a content creator, even if he's okay with it, I don't feel comfortable making fun of directly a content creator. I don't know. Even if he's fine with it, I just don't do it. I thought about doing it at one point, but I just not going to cross that line.
Ball Lightning is getting buffed. They're having two competing uniques.
Oh, I need to add the tweet. Of course I need to add the tweet. I'm already collecting that. I'll get Hog in there. Let's see here.
Oh my goodness. Hog's got the video. Path of Exile 2 reveal was so epic it steamed Rod Ferguson. All right, what is
The
it?
genre of ARPG is starting to mean a lot of different things. Much like Souls-like and roguelike, I wonder if we could normalize Diablo-like for ARPGs that follow the Diablo formula.
This right here was my favorite.
Yes. The tweet, dude, I mean, PoE2, probably the best Diablo-like of 2024. And that's competing with Vessels of Hatred. Let's get back to this. Keywords. Keywords. What did I just do? Oh, here we go.
I believe, an offhand slot so you can build your Ball Lightning differently. The idea of this is good. This is something that I wish was in the skill tree where you could actually build completely different setups. I guess this is a start of doing that, and they're also doing that with Necro with Bloodwave. Druids seem to be getting a lot of buffs. They're buffing Shred, but one of the upgrades that they were buffing was...
This doesn't seem like it's going to have a lot of good stuff.
The one buffed because now minions just stagger the bosses instantly. And Caltrops, the jumping backwards, got removed. Blood Overpowering significantly buffed. Bloodwave has those competing uniques like Ball Lightning does. Spiritborn is just getting nerfed, essentially. Ultimates now at rank 5 give you extra powers, and there's new legendary powers for the ultimates. They're doing some redesigns for rune words, and they have new runes. On the Season 7 PTR, you're going to be able to play the actual season power, and there's a new thing called Witchcraft. Think of it like Season 2. Season 2 is probably the best season so far for Diablo 4. You're going to get certain powers. They're not vampire powers, they're witch powers. They have a seasonal tab, and they seem to have a very nice UI, so that's an improvement over the previous seasons. You do Whispers, you unlock Witchcraft things, and you actually go hunt special Witchcraft powers in the world. So finally, they're adding stuff for you to go out and hunt for. I've been begging for that. The new activity is called Headhunting. It's like Helltide with new teleport, or you only have to do the is Diablo 4 is becoming a better game, and we'll test everything next week. There aren't any leaderboards. There's nothing for you to go do after you make these super powerful builds, other than maybe the witchcraft bosses are really hard, but I bet they aren't.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay.
moving the game in the right direction. A lot of quality of life stuff.
That's good. That's good. Keep that.
Ancestral items got buffed, and you only have to do the class quest one time. Finally, the armory is here. It's free to respec and all of that good stuff. So my opinion here on this campfire.
All right, I'll keep that.
So it's moving the game in the right direction. Find a lot of quality of life stuff. I do think it will be fun for a period of time, but I'm still waiting for the endgame content that's going to keep me hooked for a long time.
Okay, he's got endgame in there. That's my endgame montage. So I like to also color code people. So he's Rax. Rax is obviously blue. So I right click, clip colors, and pick blue. So he's blue.
Then
Dislavix, thank you so much for the follow and the Prime sub. Really appreciate that, man. I don't I'm trying to stream. I literally I just edit and I don't have time to stream. So I had to pick, am I editing? Am I streaming? Am I actually playing a video game? So I decided to just stream myself editing, and I'm going from here. But yeah, dude, much appreciated. Thank you so much. Okay, let's that wasn't a lot of racks. Let's get more racks in here. Rob on PoE, racks on D4 season 7. Okay, add that into the used. We're going to call this timeline racks. Wait, you're not seeing my timeline. So over here to the left is my clips. I just felt like I didn't want to squish this and make this even smaller because it's probably the only thing to actually look at that's semi entertaining. Your YouTube videos are gold. Keep it rolling. Thanks, man. I'm gonna keep trying. I do this for fun. I am I do hospital commercials for my job, and it's pretty boring. This is actually just real fun. So all day at work I'm editing, and then when I come home I'm editing. It's, at least this is fun. Okay, Rax PoE2. Let's get this going, because this is a big deal. How long is this? It's like 30 minutes. Let's get some highlights. So let's look up the word Diablo.
Diablo fans, and maybe some of you have never tried it or briefly looked into it and quit. My audience, a lot of you are probably Diablo fans, and maybe some of you have never tried it or briefly looked into it and quit. But I want to talk about Path of Exile for a second, and I want to talk about Diablo 4. And specifically, I want to talk about some of the key things that I think don't work with these games, and then use that to transition to talk about why I think PoE2 is going to be so great. Hi, everyone, it's Rax. Path of Exile 2 just launched their big video, their announcement for their early access that starts on December 6th. In my opinion, this is one of the strong.
Yeah, I saw that. Chaos, he was talking about how we have runes, we have like gems, I don't know, all this crap that's filling our stash tabs, and specifically runes filling up like an entire stash tab, boss materials, gear for your character. It's already feeling overwhelming. Now we need a whole set of gear for our other build or loadout, and we're not even talking about alts. Like, people like making a second character, so now we're gonna have a second character like that also has 2 loadouts. It's kind of ridiculous that there's only 6 stash tabs. They are a multi-billion-dollar company. Microsoft owns them. Figure out how to at least double the stash tabs. PoE2, PoE, a much older game, so much more stash space. So figure it out. Dark Souls 1 has infinite stash space. I don't understand who coded Diablo 4, but when it comes out being like, we can only give you 4 stash tabs, and we don't know how resistances work in our own game. And by the way, we'll fix it in season 2, maybe, which is more than half a year after the game launches, is not acceptable. Not acceptable. But we did it. We bought the game. Some of you bought an $85 mount or whatever the hell it was, and then we got PoE2, who's just like, look, guys, you can play early. It's only $30, which is $5 less than last Epoch. And we decided to focus on endgame because we want to give you something to play. I'm like, oh, wow, that's really nice. I might actually, for the first time, get something more than the big. By the way, Diablo suckered me in, being like, we know you really want to play this game. And if you want to play 3 days earlier than everyone else, which is basically like a real shitty thing to do, in my opinion, you got to buy the $90 version. And I bought the $90 version because I wanted that game so much, and you can't just dangle a carrot in front of someone who's dying for a carrot for years and be like, dude, you can have this carrot right now. You just gotta pay double for the carrot. It's fucked up, right? It's fucked up. That's all I'm saying. All right, let's get back to this.
Diablo 4, and specifically, I want to Diablo 4. Diablo 4 has different problems. Diablo 4 has almost no barrier to entry. They're great for casual players. It's not.
I like that. Okay. All right. I think we're just going to watch this whole thing. He's got so much great lines.
Hi, everyone. It's Rax. Path of Exile 2 just launched their big video, their announcement for their early access that starts on December 6th. In my opinion, this is one of the strongest announcements I've ever seen in the history of ARPGs. Hi, everyone, it's Rax. Path of Exile 2 just launched their big video, their announcement for their early access that starts on December 6th. In my opinion, this is one of the strongest announcements I've ever seen in the history of ARPGs.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, I'm cooking with something here.
Hey folks, this is Riker, and this week saw the most hype live stream the ARPG world has ever seen, the announcement of Diablo 4 season of The Witch Doctor, basically. D4 also...
In my opinion, this is one of the strongest announcements I've ever seen in the history of ARPGs.
Yeah, we'll keep that together. That works.
Hey folks, this is Riker, and this week saw the most hype live stream the ARPG world has ever seen, the announcement of Diablo 4 season of The Witch Doctor, basically.
In my opinion, this is one of the strongest announcements I've ever seen in the history of ARPGs.
Perfect. Okay. I typically just find lines and then I start editing them together, but that, I don't know. Sometimes when I feel like something might work, I put it together and I'll go back to it. It might work, it might not. I've had whole edited sections I just didn't throw into videos because I just ended up just feeling it wasn't funny. But let's go back to Rex and keep watching.
Any game.
Just done with the previous stream. Nice to see Frosty the Root Magic live in action. Thanks, dude. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, this is my first editing stream. I don't know. I was like, hey, I was planning on editing tonight, and I also wanted to work, like, just start streaming more. So I was like, why not just stream me editing? I just feel like it's boring, but like, it might be semi-chill to have in the background. I don't know. Typically, when I get to phase 2 of my editing, where I start trying to piece all the things together and I have to listen to it 100 times in a row, I'm probably not going to stream that. Also, it's getting closer to the finished product, and I don't want people to see when it gets close to the finished product because I just want them to actually watch the video. But just collecting clips, that's pretty fun, I guess.
Any game, and I've been playing them for a long time.
D2 Resurrected is pretty sweet.
Old. So I thought about a couple of different ways that I could have this conversation with you, and I think actually one of the easiest ways to start off why I think this was so insanely strong is actually by talking about other games that you might be familiar with. So let's start out with Path of Exile 1. Now, some of you may not be familiar with Path of Exile 1. Maybe I'm assuming from my audience, a lot of you are probably Diablo fans, and maybe some of you have never tried it or briefly looked into it and quit. But I want to talk about Path of Exile for a second, and I want to talk about Diablo.
Okay, this is good. Also, so FPG 29, I'm definitely adding in the Rod Ferguson tweet. I have a few people already clipped talking about it. That's 100% going in.
I want to talk about Path of Exile for a second, and I want to talk about Diablo 4. And specifically, I want to talk about some of the key things that I think don't work with these games, and then use that to transition to talk about why I think PoE2 is going to be so great. By the way, I thought I would show some gameplay or just play the part of the live stream while I discuss it so you can see all the awesome footage here. I would strongly recommend watching the entire thing, and I'll have a link for it as well. Okay, so back to Path of Exile 1. What doesn't work here? Well, the game is extremely complicated. I have about 1,200 hours in Path of Exile lifetime. And
Okay. Is he about to say he has 1,000 hours in Path of Exile 1 and he's just scratching the surface? He's barely touched it. It's like he just got through the tutorial. Every streamer that I've watched that talks about PoE 1 says this. And as someone who's a casual gamer who plays 2 hours a night, maybe 3, and not even every night, I hate hearing this because I want to play Path of Exile, but it's very disheartening to hear people be like, I've only played 1,000 hours. and I know nothing about the game. And I'm like, well, it'll take me 7 years to get 1,000 hours in PoE. So let's hear what he's about to say.
I have about 1,200 hours in Path of Exile lifetime, and I am still learning new things constantly.
Okay. I mean, he didn't say it as disheartening as some other people, but yeah, you kind of feel like you'd want to, I don't know. Maybe I don't get it.
At this stage, in almost any other ARPG, I would pretty much consider myself a grandmaster at that point. In PoE, you're just beginning. And I think PoE is complicated and bloated to a fault for new players. Anyone who is a veteran of the game logs in and everything is very easy and it makes sense. And all the thousands of hours that they put into the game really pay off for them because they know so much more than you.
Yep.
They can take advantage.
I feel like it's like I was actually going to play some PoE this week, and I still might, but then, then this happened. I was literally about to log on and play some PoE, and then I watched this video and I heard this line. I'm like, I have to start editing.
Yeah.
Can you guys imagine the Frosty LaRue video we're going to be getting about all the Diablo 4 players like watching Path of Exile? I can see the title of the video already.
Phone Dango. Sorry for pronouncing your name like that. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that.
They know more than you.
Yeah, right. I feel like I have to now.
They know so much more than you. They can take advantage of all these things, and it makes life very easy. It makes sense. But when you design a product that specifically has a massive barrier to entry, that's pretty bad for anything that you could ever possibly hope to market in any different category.
Yep.
And it's just an intimidation factor, right?
It
How
is.
many of you fired up PoE, opened the passive tree, and said, "Yep, nope, I'm out of here"?
Okay. I'm past that point. I'm a casual gamer, but I know enough to know that it looks intimidating, but you can tackle the passive tree. It's all the other stuff that's like way overbearing for me. It's like there's a billion endgame systems. I'm going through the world and I'm seeing like these graves, and I'm like, what do I do with these graves? I see frozen creatures. I'm like, what do I do with these frozen creatures? I get to this new town where there's a boat system, and now they're not working properly for me. Then I go to the tab where it shows these are all the possible resources and trade materials in the game, and I have to scroll down through 400 of them, and I'm like, there are people that know what every one of these resources do, and I don't know what more than 2 do. So that's where I get a little overwhelmed. And then you're just like, oh wow, there's this whole minecart underground delve area. Like I got there randomly during my campaign run, and I'm just like, what the fuck is this? But there's a lot of content, and if that's my only game, infinite amounts of fun, I'm sure. I just 2 hours of night to play. I wasn't ready to dive into it. I beat the campaign. That was fun. I might beat the campaign again before PoE2's out. I don't know where I'm going with this. Let's just keep editing. I'll learn. But I think PoE2, I'm jumping in at the beginning, and I'm going to try to stick with it as long as I possibly can. I'm probably going to end up ditching season 7 of Diablo 4. I'll play a little bit of it. I'll look at it a bit. I might make a video or 2, but I'm probably going to go back to PoE2 just so I can keep learning, because I don't want to fall behind. And I feel like with Diablo, you're not going to fall behind. They make it simple enough where it's like you can skip a season or 2, come back and be like, learn it in like a day.
While the passive tree is not nearly as bad as it sounds, simultaneously, it's almost impossible to make a really good build on your first try, just randomly throwing stuff together. It's very hard to get it right. And again, you just need a massive amount of knowledge within the game. before you can really make it work. So it kind of forces you into following a build guide. These are probably some of the biggest problems with PoE, along with some quality of life stuff that has prevented, I think, a lot of people from jumping in.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to Diablo 4. Diablo 4 has...
Okay, here we go.
Let's go to Diablo 4. Diablo 4 has different problems. Diablo 4 has almost no barrier to entry. They're great for casual players.
Oh, yeah.
It's not complicated and it's not intimidating at all, which is why Diablo 4 sold so well.
Damn right.
The problem is it lacks an endgame almost entirely.
I mean, there are things to do at endgame. That's different. That's different than having an endgame. So you could actually, if you think about it, you can do pit before you get a max level character. You can do pit while leveling up. You can do nightmare dungeons while leveling up. You can do world bosses. You can do pinnacle bosses while leveling up, even though I feel like that's probably the end game, is to farm boss materials to kill pinnacle bosses to get Ubers. And now that you have the Ubers, what are you doing? Are you just trying to get a higher level of pit? Really nothing. Like there's no difference between doing a level 90 pit and a level 150 pit. So yeah, it's missing a major endgame function. Because everything else isn't really considered, in my opinion, an endgame feature. The amount of time that goes into these videos, yeah, there's a lot of time that goes into these videos. People are already of course they're theory crafting builds. Also, have you seen YouTube? It's like, if you looked up one thing on PoE2, there's every single content creator that's even like done anything on ARPGs has at least 3 PoE2 videos out right now. And everyone has almost the same one. The reaction to the announcement, maybe the thing talking about Rod Ferguson's tweet, and their plans for PoE2 going forward. And then there's going to be another one tomorrow. And people are absorbing, like they love they'll watch this Darth microtransaction talk about the announcement trailer. Then they'll go watch Ghazi talk about the announcement trailer. They'll watch Rax talk about it. They're like, holy shit, Rob has a video on PoE2. They'll watch Rob. So people just love to absorb content before a game is out. Then when the game first comes out, they'll be like, I need guides. I need to know what's the best. I need guide videos. I need tier lists. I need to know 10 things I wish I knew before starting PoE. 10 things that'll help you do more damage. Oh, there's a secret thing here. There's a bug here. And during that time, I don't think I'm going to be able to make a parody video, because that's the honeymoon phase and everyone's going to be like super invested in just information, knowing what's the best. They're not going to give a crap like if some YouTuber got stuck in a wall or something for half a second. So, I mean, like, I know this is pretty shitty, but like day one of the game coming out, I think I'm going to make a tier list. And maybe it's like a level 1 or level 5 tier list. I did this with Last Epoch. And it's just me leveling each character to either like level 3 or 5. And being like, I think the Ranger actually sucks because it can only take 3 hits from the first boss. And you get this move at level 5. And this move can't even kill things in 1 hit. It'll get like 10,000 views, I'm sure.
There truly is nothing to do. Well, I guess that's not literally true. When you get to the end game, there are actually quite a few activities you could do. You can do Helltide,
I just said
Nightmare
this,
Dungeons, or the Pit, or the Infernal Hordes, or the Raids, or the World Bosses. So actually, there are a lot of things to do. but there aren't really any great rewards for doing that. There is nothing to strive for, no super rare items. It's just getting an extra greater affix on
That's
the
true.
item that already.
There's nothing like after you get your uber unique, there's like nothing to like you what do you use that uber unique for to then then there's nothing. There's nothing more after that.
Has a greater affix, or getting a slightly higher roll on a legendary aspect, or getting a mythic unique, which is pretty easy now, especially now since the season themes are going to reward sparks. You get a couple of runes from the Kurost Undercity or a couple of boss rotations, do some trading, and then bam, you just craft the one that you need. It is quite possible from a fresh start with absolutely nothing, within 24 hours of game time, to be in Torment 4, super powerful, probably even with a mythic unique, and done with the entire season.
Yep, he's right.
And I can't stress enough, one of the biggest problems for me with Diablo 4 is the rewards for doing it. I have 5100s. I have I'm Paragon 300. I've killed Uber Lilith 1,000,000 times. I've killed all of the other pinnacle bosses. I've cleared Pit 150. And what do I have to show for it? I don't have any super awesome mounts. I don't have any titles. My character isn't glowing. I can't link you an item that is so rare. And
Again, that is very true. Like oddly enough, the item I like the most, that's like a sense of accomplishment, was my Ashava trophy mount. Mount for trophy, whatever. Fuck it. And that you got that by killing Ashava in the stress test at level 20, and Ashava was level 25. And me and my friends beat it with like 30 seconds left, and it was really hard, and not many people got that. And it's like a sense of being like, hey, I have the Ashava trophy mount and you guys don't, and I feel cool. And there's actually Reddit posts called like Ashava trophy club or something, and like you couldn't even talk in the Reddit post unless you had the mount, the trophy. It was stupid, but yeah, they need more things like that in the game. Now it's like do the new raid, and then you can get cosmetics for the season by doing the raid. And it's like it's a group mechanic, and like I like playing with friends, but don't force me to do group content in an ARPG. This is not an MMO. I can go play World of Warcraft for that. I come into this game to chill after work, kill some stuff, grind. I don't want to form a group. I don't want to go in with my rogue and have a Spiritborn just clear everything for me and I just walk through the game. It's not fun.
So godly that you wouldn't be able to find it yourself from all the hours that I put into it. The rewards are just not there. So Diablo 4 is suffering in the exact opposite way of there's nothing for the quote-unquote blasters to do.
I'm not a blaster. I'm a pretty casual gamer, and I also have that problem.
And what do I have to show for it? I don't have any. One of the biggest problems for me with Diablo 4 is the rewards for doing it. I have 5100s. I have I'm Paragon 300. I've killed Uber Lilith 1,000,000 times. I've killed all of the other pinnacle bosses. I've cleared Pit 150. And what do I have to show for it? I don't have any super awesome mounts. There's nothing rewards. You wouldn't be able to find it yourself from all the hours that I put into it. The rewards are just not there. So Diablo 4 is suffering in the exact opposite way of there's nothing for the quote-unquote blasters to do. So now that we've seen some similar games, some games that Path of Exile 2 might be competing with, and we see this beautiful footage, obviously you can see how much better the engine is already in the graphics. How is PoE2 going to simultaneously solve the problems of PoE1 and fix all the problems for Diablo 4 to try to make the best ARPG on the market? Well, first of all, they're just making all of their systems much easier to understand. If you would like, in a separate video, I can make a, whatever you want to call it, an everything I know about Path of Exile 2, where I start to explain all of this to you. But right here, for example, in this footage, you see on the right here, or maybe my webcam is blocking it, but they have one health flask and they have one mana flask. Let me go in here and let me see if I can hide my, see right here, the one health flask and the one mana flask. That's because there's only 2 flasks. And this is a big improvement from the piano tiles that you were playing in Path of Exile that you pretty much could never get away from. Even though you have an opportunity to automate your flasks in the endgame, it's actually better if you don't do that, because then you can craft them to be super powerful if you manually press them and a bunch of different things. And instead, in order to get all of the extra powers, they have a system, I believe, that's called charms. And you'll just craft the charms. It's going to help you if you need immunity to freeze or immunity to shock or any of those kinds of things. It's going to solve it that way. Essentially, they're assigning you only 2 buttons, life and resource. And of course, you can solve it with the tree or with different progression systems. And then they're just going to automate the other stuff for you and not give you some kind of advantage for doing it manually. This is going to help the new players a lot. The gem system is a lot easier, and I assume also the stat system and the leveling system. I can't tell you how many times I've had new players tell me that they're leveling up, but then they get a new item and the colors aren't right, the links aren't right. Oh, they switched one item and they lost to 10 strength, and now they leveled up their gem too much, and now they can't put in their gem, and they don't know how to fix it, and they're confused, and their guide doesn't cover it, and they're already lost because they can't do it themselves. If the guide doesn't have every little answer for them in the world, then they're doomed. It's things like that. So then they get frustrated and then they quit. By simplifying all of these processes, where you just have an uncut skill gem, you assign it to a skill, and then you just throw the support. It's perfect to see. So this is perfect for new players. Their community all the time. They know their game inside and out. So and then of course, I mean, there will be max roll guides for you as well if you want to use that, or I don't know, maybe even grinding your games and max roll will partner up for the recommended builds feature. Would love that as well. Either way, it's a function within the game. So if you're intimidated by it, don't be. There's recommended builds, and I'm sure they will be good. Another thing that they're doing in order to make builds much more viable is the way that they have structured their passive tree. The way that they have explained it is all of the nodes are going to be really good for your class. So
Okay, I mean, these are all great information about PoE2, but not gonna work well for my parody video.
the damage that the they won't have from other things. They have made the crafting a lot easier, and they want you and brick. And of course, with everything here, they're showing you all the support gems there, and they're showing that thing that I was explaining about the.
You can't wait for PoE2 to introduce brain surgery to your crafting again. I think it's closer to Last Epoch crafting. It seems like I can almost follow it from the video. I hope they don't keep adding to it a lot, because I think that's what happened in PoE1 was they had a basic crafting system. Then they had a ton of things they added to the game to help craft. And now it's like, what? Every item is like crafted in that game or something, except for I know I'm talking to my ass. I'm not like, I've only played 60 hours of PoE. I am mega noob. Literally, I am. I don't really even know how the crafting system works.
The recommended stuff. So the crafting is going to be easier. It's going to be a major part of the game. And then we look at the development of the game, and I think this is probably the smartest thing that I've seen. So it's not just Diablo 4. This is a common problem in ARPG.
Okay.
And then we look at the development of the game, and I think this is probably and then we look at the development of the game, and I think this is probably
D4 lost me after I realized by level 25, we got all the skills, made no sense. Like, you know what? Yeah, dude. Chaos. So I forgot about this, but when I was playing the stress test, it let you get to 25 in the stress test. I was like, oh, we pretty much got all the abilities we are going to get in the game, except for, I believe, our core passive and maybe our ultimate, which barely anyone uses ultimate skills in Diablo. And I was like, oh, there's not a lot there. And also, I'm a little disappointed with the rogue, because it's like, I went from spinning around with my double crossbows in Diablo 3, obliterating the screen, going like 100 miles an hour, or going on the sorcerer and teleporting around, raining down meteors, or going on my Inna's monk in Diablo 3 and like blinking between everyone, summoning my like water elements that just annihilated everything. And I'm just like, so what? I am going to penetrate through 4 people with my penetrating shot, or I'm going to go twisting blades and have it spin around me. And that's my gameplay. I don't know. I kind of think it was a step backwards in Diablo 4 when they went away from like the massive power builds. And I was a little concerned about PoE2 in the beginning when I saw some of the early footage and being like, oh, you know, like it's taking a lot to kill one target, and you're really thinking about killing 3 targets. Then in this current stream, they were showing like there are screen clearing abilities. There are areas that are harder, but if you go into farm content and you can still learn moves that clear the screen, you can wreck things quickly. And then I guess when you get towards the end game, that's when it really comes like it's gonna get hard. And they have both going on. It's not just like you have a little blade spinning around you.
The smartest thing that I've seen. So it's not just
Yeah, I agree. The dev footage is very far from reality. They create games, but they're not blasters. They're not going to show us the potential that we can be in the end game, which I don't know if it's like I don't know if that's great marketing. Like, I don't know. They showed some screen clearing stuff, but I want to see some broken ass builds. That's what I want to see.
Diablo 4. This is a common problem in ARPGs. Every ARPG can launch with a very nice campaign. I like Diablo 4's campaign. I like Diablo 3's campaign. I like Path of Exile's campaign. I like Last Epoch's campaign. It's fine. I like them. But really what it comes down to, at least for me, not everybody, is the ARPGs are about the repetitive part, right? This is a seasonal game that I play over and over and over and over and over. A nice campaign does matter. It is important. But what I want to know is, what am I going to be doing all the time? What am I going to do after the campaign? In this genre of a game, that is more important to me than the story. I'm looking for a story. I'll play a role-playing game like Final Fantasy VII.
I agree with him here.
Like Baldur's Gate 3, where the story and what's going on is more important to me than me.
I don't care about the campaign.
Blasting the game.
Don't care about the campaign at all. I'm going to skip that story.
Grinding Gear Games made a decision in this early access, and they said, you want to know what? We're going to stop work on the campaign. We've got the first 3 acts done.
I got to condense this thought.
And then we look at the development of the game. And I think this is probably the smartest thing that I've seen.
So literally, I'll just skip all over here.
Grinding Gear Games made a decision in this early access.
Skip all this middle stuff.
And then we look at the development of the game. And I think this is probably the smartest thing that I've seen. Grinding Gear Games made a decision in this early access. And they said, you want to know what? We're going to stop work on the campaign. We've got the first 3 acts done. They're really polished. We have 3 more acts to build. For the early access that's starting on December 6th, we're going to skip the last 3 acts while we work on them. We're going to have our developers work on the end game so we can release that to you.
Such a smart idea.
So on December 6th, we have the first 3 acts, and I'm assuming pretty much the entire end game, which is colossal in typical Grinding Gear Games fashion. And I just can't explain to you how much I appreciate that and how smart that is. Because I want to know, what am I going to be doing all the time in the game? And I think it's such a great strategy. So going through, and we talked about how massive the game is going to be. Well, you can see the passive tree is massive again. But again, remember, pathing wherever you want is way less punishing than a PoE1. So if you don't want to follow a build guide, just go anywhere that you want and mess around with it.
I like that you can respec pretty easily in the game. Hopefully you can get gold also easily. I'm going to mess around when the game first comes out. I don't really want to follow a build guide until I get like stuck. It's hard to do though. Like I want to go in blind But like when you're at work or you're just playing and chilling and you want to watch something on the side, because yes, people do that. You put on a streamer and they're like fucking like Rob or something's like the new broken PoE ultimate million damage build, and you see him like on like the Ranger blowing up the screen, and you're like, it's fucking cool. I want to do that. And then you're just like on your like witch, and you were having a good time until you saw that, and then you're just like, shit. Do I have to switch? And like I want to try to not watch that stuff, but then again, I also have to make content, so I'm just like I want to watch it anyway, and it's hard to not watch it. It's a dilemma, you know? Some people are okay with just being like, I'm just going to make my own build, even if it's not great. I kind of think I can do that until I get to endgame. And then I'm going to be like, I'm going to look up a guide. And I hope that whatever class I pick, it's not D tier. They're going to do a lot of balance patches though. So like, I guess I can make a new character. And after a balance patch comes out, they'll be like, oh, that character you already have max level. Now that's fucking great. So I'll switch back. Like solo self-found is I love that shit. I wish Diablo 4 had servers and leaderboards for solo self-found. I don't trade in Diablo 4, but I hear it's like a major thing, and there's every season there's dupes. Every game has dupes. It's like, I don't know why people can't make a game where it's like we've prevented dupes. Like I think it's impossible or something, because Last Epoch has dupes. Diablo every season has dupes. Do you guys who play PoE 1, is there a duping problem in PoE? Like how do they handle that? Because in Diablo they just turn off trade for like the rest of the season.
On the launch of the game, there's going to be 12 classes who ascend into 36. Because I want to know, what am I going to be doing all the time in the game? And I think it's such a great strategy. So going through, and we talked about how massive the game is going to be. We can see the passive tree is massive again. But again, remember, pathing wherever you want is way less punishing than PoE 1. So if you don't want to follow a build guide, just go anywhere that you want and mess around with it. On the launch of the game, there's going to be 12 classes who ascend into 36.
Okay, PoE does rollbacks. And bans. That's good. But Peter, Peter, that's just me streaming yesterday, doing a test stream. That's not my PoE video. It's just me watching the stream, and I actually, for some reason on YouTube, the volume of the video I'm watching is way lower than my volume. So sorry about that. You don't have to watch that video. It's not like a really edited video. It's just my live stream.
Different masteries. So you start out as a sorcerer, and then you might ascend into a warlock or a spellbinder or a chronomancer. I'm just making up names. I don't know all of them. In the early access, we have access to 6 of the classes, each with 2 of their masteries. So we'll have 12 to play in early access. There will be 36 on the launch of the game, which they said would be within a year of when they launch the early access. So Path of Exile will release in full in 2025. I think they said, if I'm quoting them correctly, it would take a minimum of 6 months, but not longer than a year. So mid to late 2025 is when the full game will be out. Then the end game currently already sounds bigger than every single other game except Path of Exile 1. What they have done is they have taken, I believe, 5 of the very popular League mechanics that people liked, and they didn't just port them directly over into Path of Exile 2, they redid them and they made them better. So we already will have 5 revamped, well-polished League mechanics in the endgame. And then in PoE 1, they had this like 126 map, gotta catch 'em all system. And in PoE 2, as I understand it, they have a gigantic world, I believe they said it's infinite, that you just traverse through that has tons of secrets and different ways that you can path. And should be incredible because you can never run out of content. There are lots of little other things to chase within this world. And instead of just standing in a hideout and going through a 126 point chart, you're actually going to be immersed in a world that you're traversing through that you can pick any way that you want to look for special items or special encounters within those maps, which is going to be a lot to explain. I'll have to explain it probably in a different video. Then all of the different trials that you have within the campaign to actually do your ascension also have endgame versions that you can go through. And then the endgame atlas tree seems to be separated into different trees based upon which endgame that you would like to do. If you're familiar with Diablo 4, it would be like, oh, you had a tree for Helltide. If you want to put the endgame atlas tree seems to be separated into the different trees based upon which endgame that you would like to do. If you're familiar with Diablo 4, it would be like, oh, you had a tree for Helltide if you want to put your points into buffing Helltide. Or then another very smart idea they have done is they have made the Path of Exile endgame in a lot of ways choose your difficulty. But there is a way to kind of choose your own difficulty. So if you're struggling with the first level of it, primary kind of respecs and things like that. If gold, so for example, them explain how their progression systems work are only noticeable in the sense that the number goes up.
Okay, what's happening here?
20% damage, 10% attack speed in Diablo.
Ah, here we go.
And the difference here is
Oh, jeez. Ba-ba-bum.
Diablo 4 to try to make the best ARPG. Diablo 3's campaign. I like Path of Exile. Diablo 4 changes to, if you watch this entire thing, begging for it in Diablo 4, we don't have it. I used it. Don't put points. In Diablo 4, how would you choose your difficulty? You literally pick Diablo 3's campaign. Diablo 4, we don't have it. We have it in Path of Exile. But there is a way to kind of choose your own difficulty. So if you're struggling with the first level of it, you don't put points into leveling up its difficulty until you're comfortable. Again, a very smart idea from the team. And again, they're bringing in some things from Path of Exile 1 that they have already solved in terms of quality of life. They have an in-game marketplace. I used it all last season. It works fantastic. People have been begging for it in Diablo 4. We don't have it. They have it in Path of Exile. Works perfectly.
That's good. Keep that.
Then, of course, a lot of the other changes, like gold being a primary. If you compare some of the recent Diablo 4 changes to, if you watch this entire thing, the PoE2 announcement, and you listen to them explain how their progression systems work, an example of a an example of a Diablo 4 upgrade is 30% damage. You get this legendary power, it gives you 30% more damage. And an example of a Path of Exile buff is now you shoot 2 extra projectiles. And the difference here is when Path of Exile is stacking hundreds and hundreds of different ways that change your character, more projectiles, more radius, more armor, this or that, or this or that, versus 20% damage, 10% attack speed in Diablo. The ones from Diablo are only noticeable in the sense that the number goes up. But in Path of Exile's progression systems, your character changes. The things that you shoot out change. They do different elements. There's a different number of them. They bounce off of terrain when they didn't before. They interact with a firewall when they didn't before. It actually changes your gameplay from when you start the campaign as a shitty ranger with a bow that doesn't do anything to the end game where you're blinking around, AoE deleting 1,000 monsters in 2 seconds. And
That's all I need. A lot, but it's a big quote. Very, very, very true quote. And in fact, Diablo 3 did that, where it's like, oh, you start with meteor. It's a little meteor plops down. There you go. Later in the game, as you level up, you get meteor storm. 20 small meteors plop down, or comet storm, a huge ice meteor plops down. I don't know. I don't know. Diablo is just like, here's your penetrating shot. You can get a unique item in the game, one unique in the game that makes it bounce off a character and shoot another penetrating shot. And that's the extent of the change of your ability. Like, that's going to be it for you. Oh my god. Okay. Let's keep watching.
That progression that you feel feels so much more rewarding. So the main point of this video that I was trying to get across is I absolutely love a lot of the decisions that Grinding Gear Games does. And I listened to the multiple hour Q&A with the game director. If you're telling me if I keep giving you money, if you're going to keep making great games, I will.
There we go.
I'm going to buy the most expensive one. Or if you have, I believe the number is $480 lifetime spend in PoE 1, you don't have to buy any of these. So I don't have to buy any of these. I already have spent more than $480 in PoE 1. But you want to know what I'm going to do right after this video ends? I'm going to buy this supporter pack. I'm going to buy the most expensive one because I want to give Grinding Gear Games $480 more to keep making games. I can tell with the amount of massive investment and the years of work into this game that the money that they have been making has went into making more games. You want to know what I'm going to do right after this video ends? I'm going to buy this supporter pack. I'm going to buy the most expensive one because I want to give Grinding Gear Games $480 more to keep making games.
Okay.
I appreciate that very much. And I kept hearing people spam Diablo 4 bad. This killed Diablo. Rax is never going to play Diablo after this. Rip Diablo, da 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 da. To address that very quickly, I will still play Diablo 4. I'll still be there on all the launches, all the important events. I'll still make build guides. I'll still make the tier list. I'll still make the leveling guides. I'll still be there. This game seems much more like a game that was designed for me. I like to play games degenerately for hours and hours and hours, even if I wasn't a streamer. That's just how I like to play. It's one of my favorite hobbies. So this game seems like with the vast amount of endgame and with essentially 36 different classes to play between the masteries, it seems like there's thousands and thousands and thousands of hours you can sink into a game like this in order to get a lot out of it. Because of that, I have a very favorable opinion for a game I haven't even played yet, but I will probably make a full suite of guides: the beginner's guide, the trading guide, the gearing up guide, the crafting guide, and millions of builds.
I don't know. I might make even like a top 10 tips guide or something because it just seems like everyone wants to know every possible aspect of this game. And that makes sense. Like whenever I'm into a game, I want to know everything I can possibly learn about that game before it's out. Then when it's out, I'm playing it. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. That's okay, Rax. Thank you for the good clips. I'll put you into the used file. I think I might need to go and actually download one of their streams. Like, they're not talking enough about D4. However, God, I'm not going to have time to do this full one, but let's open up Asmongold. I'm also curious to know if I'm going to get demonetized on YouTube because I'm watching all these YouTube videos.
Alrighty, gentlemen. Let's do it.
Sir, just what are we facing here? A relic of the old world. Ready your men, Captain. We will only get one chance. And remember, when you hear the whispers, call for help. Do not...
All right, he's got like he's got a 2-hour video. I need to do it a little different. Where are you? Asmongold.
Diablo 4 should have been. See, this is what Diablo 4 should have been. Much more fucking
And this is
brutal.
where you find yourself.
See, this is what Diablo 4 should have been. Much more fucking... See, this is what Diablo 4 should have been.
Okay, and this is where you like Da Vinci. So it sounds pretty muddy. I go to voice isolation.
See, this is what Diablo 4 should have been.
Sounds like crap, but let's just reduce it to 50%.
See, this is what Diablo 4 should have been.
There we go. It's fine.
Diablo 4.
The
See,
monk-
like, this is what I really like about PoE, and it's the thing that I didn't like about the Diablo 4, like the trailer for the game, is that you see how, like, he's explaining how, like, the spells interact with each other? That's why people play this game for 10,000 hours. And it's the thing that I didn't like about the Diablo 4, like the trailer for the game, is that you see how, like, see,
monk-
like, this is what...
Did I see Rod Ferguson's tweet about ARPGs? Yes, I did. I did see that. Bam, where is that? Here.
Oh my goodness. Hog's got the video. Path of Exile 2 reveal was so epic it steamed Rod Ferguson. Alright, what is
The
it?
genre of ARPG.
Alright, what is
The
it?
genre of ARPG is starting to mean a lot of different things. Much like Souls-like and roguelike, I wonder if we could normalize Diablo-like for ARPGs that follow the Diablo formula.
This right here was my favorite.
So good. So good.
Play this game for 10,000 hours.
Okay.
Diablo, yeah. No, this isn't an ARPG. It's just like Diablo. Yeah, sure, Rod.
There you go. That's the tweet.
No.
The elemental skills have everything you might expect and more. Fireballs,
No wonder Rod was making tweets. No, this isn't an ARPG. It's just like Diablo. Yeah, sure, Rod. For sure, man. Yeah. Getting mad.
I see.
Yeah, there you go. That's good. Yeah, I'm gonna be cutting down Hog's video on Rod by tomorrow. Not gonna get to it tonight.
Diablo. Oh, you can't trade Uber. Here's some bullshit about how Diablo. Oh, you can't trade Uber uniques. People might fucking like sell them for real money. Who cares? Like, what the fuck? Like, it's just let people trade items. Diablo 4 does after the expansion. Like, this is fucking insane.
Their Dark Pact offers greatly increased resistances to chaos damage and can allow their mana.
How is it that this beta has more depth to it than Diablo 4 does after the expansion? Like, this is fucking insane.
Dude, he goes right for it. He has the best lines. I gotta get better lines from other people ripping on Diablo 4 comparison. But like, oh, I feel like they're a little scared to completely rip on Diablo 4. They're towing the line a little bit.
Diablo 4.
The Trial of Chaos.
It's like, think about this, compare this to what you get with Diablo 4, and it's like, oh yeah, you want to make your you want to do like your class quest? Okay, well, here's your class quest. Kill 5 skeletons. Oh, you did that? Okay, well, now you're the master of the undead. Good job.
Yes.
Diablo 3, and then also it was in Diablo 4 because it's much simpler, and they're
That's true. I mean, a lot of people were talking about Rod Ferguson in Diablo 4 alongside PoE. Like, do you think anyone quit Diablo 4 because he said that tweet? He's like, it's kind of like Diablo. Like, I don't think someone who's in the middle of leveling up their Spiritborn for the first time was like, damn it, Rod, I can't believe you said that. I'm quitting this game. But there might have been someone who, I don't know, heard the tweet and they're like, oh yeah, I forgot about Diablo 4. I played that like a year and a half ago. Let me look into it again. And like, oh, there was an expansion. Maybe I'll pick it up. Like, you know, he might have sold 4 copies with that tweet. Who knows? But I don't know if he lost any money making the tweet.
bad compared to Diablo 2. Well, I don't know. Like, did he really? Like, did he? Because like, I do hope. I think he should try this game. Like, it's gonna take a lot of time, right? That's the other thing. No, he didn't ask that. I just checked. Honestly, I wasn't sure. But yeah. Holy fuck, man! If Elon plays this game, it's gonna be huge. Yeah, it is. Diablo 2. Diablo, a lot of times, like, the game has.
I heard Elon is like really good at Diablo 4, or has really good gear in Diablo 4. I don't know. I feel it's hard for me to feel like, God, I wish there was solo self-found, and there were solo self-found realms, because I don't know. I just feel like he bought. Maybe the fact that he's a billionaire, I feel like he bought gear and is just kicking ass. Exactly. I think he bought the gear, or is gifted the gear. And that's pretty much 90% of what you need. You follow a guide, you get given the gear, you buy the gear. Hopefully you find the uber unique you need, and you're just basically there. Like, if you play Spiritborn, there's like, you're not gonna have any problem. Like, yeah. All right. Well, okay, that's what I thought.
And they did a little bit. Like, it's Diablo has like 4 steps to like crafting and like character progression. This has like 10 or 15. The Diablo like thing, is this that bullshit about that? Let me see if I can find it. Where's Rod Ferguson? There it is. PoE2 is gonna be great for friends. Yeah. Look at Rod Ferguson's tweet. Is this the Diablo like thing? Is this that bullshit about that? Let me see if I can find it. Where's Rod Ferguson? There it is. Let me double check. I don't think he didn't. There's no way he made another tweet, right? No, he didn't. And also, like, the thing is that, and Grinding Gear Games would be the first people to say this, right? That they owe so much
to Diablo 2.
So much
yeah.
to Diablo 2, and even a little bit to Diablo 3. You know what? They owe a lot to Diablo 3. Because Diablo 3 being dog shit on release, dude, when the PoE closed beta came out in like 2012, it was like 2011, 2012, every single person in the general chat was talking about how shitty Diablo 3 was. And you know what's so fucking funny? Is when this game comes out, every single person in the general chat is going to be talking about how shitty Diablo 4 is.
That's a perfect line, and it's really long. I don't think I can clip that because it's a full minute. But that's great. That's pretty much probably gonna make the video. Damn it. That's why Asmongold's so good, dude. That's why he's so
Diablo
good.
4. Diablo is a great game for casual players. It's in a pretty good Diablo is a great game. Diablo as like a casual player game, But I think, again, like as an enthusiast, as somebody who really wants to get the most out of their experience, I think PoE is 100% the game to go with, man. I do. I think it is. This is insane.
I like that. It's gonna use this line randomly.
This is insane. This is insane.
Yeah. Do that.
The Diablo 4 devs are going to play PoE 2? I think that they will. Like, I mean, unironically, I think they will. And I don't think that in like a, you know, like a bad way. I think that in a good way. Like, I think a lot of the Diablo 4 devs, like at least some of them, I like them. Like, I don't, like, yes, I think Diablo is a vastly inferior game to Path of Exile. Diablo 4 devs are going to play PoE. Diablo 4 devs, like Diablo 4, probably. PoE is too overwhelming for me. That's why PoE 2 is probably going to be so good for you.
Okay. I'll probably go back, but I got real decent amount of clips right there. Huh.
Scraps or wet.
It's here. It's here. Rain! It's here. Rain! It's here. It's here.
Fucking intense. Fucking awesome. Fucking damn, that is insane. Fucking wanted. Fucking believe.
My God.
Bro. Wow.
Introducing everything
Rod was making
produced during the long
reintroduce Rod Ferguson's tweet. Rod Ferguson.
All right. You'll be used. All right. Speaking of Rod, let's look at Rob.
Hey everybody, it's Rob here. I've never really got to play much of PoE1, and probably many of you watching haven't either. But after playing PoE2 for a few hours already, and now seeing the absolute nuke of an announcement yesterday from GG, I'm really excited to jump into PoE come December 6th. The biggest reason for me by far is yesterday from GG. I'm really excited to jump into PoE come December 6th. Hey everybody, it's Rob. I've never really got to play much of PoE1, and probably many of you watching haven't either. But after playing PoE2 for a few hours already, and now seeing the absolute nuke of an announcement yesterday from GG, I'm really excited to jump into PoE come December 6th. The biggest reason for me by far is probably the crazy endgame that they have. Look at this.
This is the Atlas, and it serves as the core of the endgame for Path of Exile 2. It's infinite and expands in all directions.
It's just an infinite endgame system, and the crazy endgame that they have. It's just an infinite endgame system, and the way I understand it, again with my limited path of
He said 2 G's, GG. Later on in the video, he says GGG, but he did only say 2 there. I don't think it's enough for me to really make fun of, but he did. It might be in the video.
Exile knowledge so far is that all of these are different maps and different modifiers. Limited path of exile. It's just an infinite endgame system, and the way I different modifiers and have different mechanics that you can, however, even as
Okay. I don't believe that. Holy crap. So Rob didn't use the word Diablo once in this entire video about PoE. Believe that or not.
And the way I understand it, again, with my limited Path of Exile knowledge so far, is that all of these are different maps and different modifiers and have different mechanics that you can engage with. Also stacking up like some of the league mechanics that we've already seen, and that has been a fan favorite from Path of Exile 1. However, even as a newer player, the game is definitely going to be pretty complex, but it's not going to be that crazy hard to get into than PoE 1. There is going to be a good curve here, even for beginning players learning the game. And this focus on the endgame, now we have just absolutely crazy and fresh and new.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. So Darth basically clipped this. It's a good one.
Now we
It's just absolutely players learning the game. And this focus on the end game is just absolutely crazy and fresh and new to me, because coming from Diablo 4, what Diablo 4 does
Wait, he says Diablo 4.
really well is cater to like a beginning player, like getting players into the game. But where Diablo 4 is definitely or has a lot of critique at the game is the full end game, because after a certain amount of time, there is not that much to do
Yes.
in Diablo 4 anymore. Like you have these like Helltide, you have these Whisperers, you have these Nightmare Dungeons, but you're basically already doing all of these while you level, and having like a real difficult end game with the difficult bosses, pinnacle bosses, uber bosses in Path of Exile has me really excited as a challenge, and also of just like, you know, ways and reasons to improve your character.
Yeah, I agree with him. That makes sense. I don't know. Rob is a extremely good gamer. He usually always goes the most meta build possible. He farms tons of gear for hours on end. So yeah, I think if he's trying to push the best spec with the best gear as far as you can possibly go, he hits a wall in Diablo. He might not hit a wall in Path of Exile. And I can see him being very excited for that. I don't think I'm gonna get anywhere close to that, but it's just fun to think that there isn't a wall. Because seeing that people already hit 150 in Diablo 4, it's a little like annoying to be like, oh, so that's what I have to hit. And once I hit that, I'm done. But having like an infinite end game is like, for some reason, feels better just trying to gear out, even if people are like at 200 whatever the hell in PoE2. I'm only at like 50. Maybe like, all right, whatever. I'll just keep gearing out because maybe I'll beat them one day. I don't know. Like, it's something to think about, even though 99.9% chance I won't. I'll be right back.
Even further.
Oh, wait a second.
So I'm very much looking forward to that. We'll have a look at some of the bosses as well.
Okay. Why didn't I pick up? Why am I excited? PoE2. Oh.
Diablo 4. What Diablo 4 does, Diablo 4 anymore. Like you have these like Helltide, Diablo 2. You can take a base white item and you can upgrade it into a Diablo 2. You actually have the option. Diablo 2, what GGG has done here in Path of Exile 2 is basically add a customizable option for your skill tree as well. Diablo 4 pretty much right from, but essentially being a big challenge. And this is something that has been a negative ton of fun in this endless possibility plan your skills, and just have a ton of fun in this.
It's like 1% chance to give something best in slot and PoE. Probably not that much, but still. Yeah, it's probably less than 1%. Definitely less than 1%. It's probably like 0.01%.
Plan your skills and just have a ton of fun in this endless possibility game. The next thing here that they showed off is hard and meaningful boss content. And those bosses are not going to be known. They're all going to be a surprise. So very much looking forward to see the first people like beating down these uber ultra bosses, whatever they will be called in the game. But essentially being a big challenge. And this is something that has been a negative point for me from Diablo 4 pretty much right from like season 1 or season 2, where you had this awesome Lilith boss fight in Diablo 4, and it used to mean something, you know, to be able to kill the Uber Lilith boss fight in Diablo 4. But after like more and more complaints out of some parts of the community, especially from a very casual player base that basically couldn't beat this like pinnacle Uber Lilith boss.
Hey, I beat Lilith in season 2, okay?
They have nerfed the Lilith boss fight in Diablo many times. I think every season since launch, they have basically nerfed Uber Lilith up to the point where it's become a full joke, basically, to do those bosses. And Lilith basically just dies in one shot when you just look at her. They moved.
He's going on a tangent here. I wish he summed up a little quicker. Okay.
Diablo 4, essentially, where this was actually a tough and a cool fight. And I really enjoyed that. I would have kind of wished for the Vessel of Hatred to also have like the last thing I want to say here, guys, that I have basically streamed Path of Exile for the first time yesterday. And I really want to say a huge thank you to the entire Path of Exile community that came by the stream. But I'm sure excited. That doesn't mean I'm going to quit Diablo 4. I'm still going to play Season 7 and all those games. And I think we don't have to have this fight where it's all...
Oh, my God. So Rob was very positive here at the end, talking about how we don't have to fight each other within ARPG communities. And I agree. I don't think we need to say... Here, I'm coming from a Diablo 4 parody creator. Yes, you can make fun of Diablo 4, but I don't know if you should go into someone's video talking about the new season and being like, you Diablo 4 shill, how do you play this game? You suck. Or go into people's stream being like, why are you playing Diablo 4, douche? Or something like that. Like, that's not... Make fun of it, but don't make fun of the people playing it. That's basically what I'm saying. You can make fun of Diablo, but don't make fun of people for playing Diablo. I guess that is my final words on that. If I was ending a stream, which I'm not. Okay, Rob. I don't know if I'm going to have that much more for you here. I really think I need to download their streams. What do we need here? Nine wives, 6 jobs, 16 kids. Yeah, you know, Diablo's a good game for you if you have that. What is this video?
The one thing I'll say about Spiritborn is it's hard.
Oh my God, yeah, DM's got a ton of fucking shit. I'm gonna make a separate timeline for this. Create a timeline using selected clips. Yep. This is going to be called DM on Vessel of Hatred. And I will be right back.
The one thing I'll say about Spiritborn is it's hard not to enjoy it. I know it's not a paladin, but the Spiritborn's actually pretty dope. The new expansion campaign, in my opinion, did not live up to the history of Diablo having a good campaign. I think the Dark Citadel is literally the best content Diablo 4 has ever had. Now, whether or not that's enough for you to buy the expansion is up for you. D4 good now? Oh, I mean, it's significantly better. So the embargo is up. We can now show footage and discuss things. Did you have fun playing this expansion? I enjoyed the campaign, but there was some stuff that was confusing about it for me. That's about as much I'm going to say, because I don't want to spoil any of the campaign for you. You'll probably see what I mean. And I also had the most fun I've had in the game with the Dark Citadel. The Undercity was pretty cool. The Realms Walkers were a little underwhelming, and the Rune Words are mid. So for me, I had fun. There are some things that are not as exciting, and the progression was extremely slow compared to where we've been before. I'm sure they're going to retool that. They already said they were going to, so I'm not quite sure where it's going to end up upon launch. Scale of 1 to 10, whether you rank VOH. Depends upon what you're asking about, dude. I hate giving these generic ratings. If you're asking the Dark Citadel, I think it's like a 9. If you're asking the campaign, I think it's like a 5 maybe. Realms Walkers are mid. The Undercity is like a 7 or 8. I thought it was pretty cool. You can average them all out if you want, but like I have different feelings about each individual piece of content. D4 good now? Oh, I mean, it's significantly better. I actually think if D4 released with all of this, like if all of this content was in the base game, I'm talking Rewards, the Dark Citadel, you know, all of this shit was in the base game, including all the seasonal mechanics we had so far, it would have been
Okay. I thought he was going to be talking about something else in this video. Sorry, guys.
Is the new class, the Dark Citadel, the Undercity, the new regions, including Aimless, and I felt a very similar vibe from them as well. You're welcome to watch other people's reviews on it. None for.
Okay, this is not what I thought. You will not be using that video. Rob. Okay, Rob on PoE2. Creating timeline selection. No.
Endgame looks. This is completely new. We have know how the skills look, the skill tree, and endgame systems basically that scales indefinitely. They have ascendancy endgame, and this is where the game really starts at level 65. So this is exclusively to early access, and Act 4, 5, and endgame, like until endgame and endgame. Like, check the cool, unique, designed, and cool graphics. Very cool. This might be one of the classes that I'm interested in next to the warrior. Very cool to see. Cool stuff to look forward to. And then we have the witch. This is like
I'm not really sure what my video is going to be, what I'm going to have in it. It's just got to talk about PoE2's coming out. Everyone's talking about it. Jeez. I don't know. It's hard to make a parody video about a game that people are just hyped for. And then all you're saying is like, sucks to be you, Diablo 4. Like, it might not be a long video. It might just be a short video. Like, I don't know what.
And the next thing here that they showed off. We'll see.
Asmongold's got a ton of good clips. What do I have here? I have about 2 minutes of clips from Rob. Riker's got like barely anything. What was this?
Recommendation here continues to be to either temporarily remove conduit shrines in Torment 4 or replace them with the Diablo 3 version, ideally, in the long run. And while no one seems particularly excited for this year's version of the Winter event, there actually was a surprise event that everyone was really excited for. A bug was discovered with the elixir of anti-venom that was basically causing people to have a huge amount of health and deal big damage. Rather than providing...
That's the thing. Am I going to talk about the issues in Diablo 4, then talk about how people are hyped about PoE? It just seems like they don't combine or connect at all. Don't know. Okay, we got talkative try here. He's someone I'm thinking about adding to videos.
I wasn't going to make this video, but am now for 2 reasons. The first is this tweet right here from the Diablo 4 General Manager, Rod Ferguson, which we'll analyze and attempt to explain in a moment. The second is Moana Exiles talkative try here, talking about an absolutely stunning series of events that occurred on the
He goes into the news. He does explain how massive. Goes through a lot of data.
Now the dude
I wish he was on camera more. Oop.
putting all the care, love, and effort into it that they needed to. Rod Ferguson is scared. He is threatened.
Yes.
To it that they needed to.
All right, that's good.
Rod Ferguson is scared. He is threatened, so he's lashing out. I've dealt with this in creating content on YouTube and in my workplace. It's plain to see. Grinding Gear Games has made something tremendous with Path of Exile 2. It has Blizzard shivering, and the game isn't even out yet. You know what this reminds me of? All the game developers coming out and saying to not expect games in line with the quality of Baldur's Gate 3 after its tremendous success.
Yeah, that was
release.
ridiculous.
BG3 was an anomaly, a standard other devs shouldn't be held to. That was a hilarious line of logic, and Rod seems to be going down the same path and sniffing the same copium. What's even juicier is that Grinding Gear Games acknowledged this issue in the ARPG genre, that the ARPG genre has problems with endgame content delivery and iterating on systems, and they decided to refocus their efforts on doing exactly that for their huge launch. Something that they didn't do with Path of Exile 1, Diablo 4 hasn't done, and Last didn't do either. They recognized this and decided to act instead of just complaining. Immediately as he saw the genius Path of Exile 2 presentation, he knew what could potentially happen. If Grinding Gear Games succeed in their goal, crafting a game just as deep as Path of Exile 1, with a far better onboarding system, with clear explanations of crafting, skills, the campaign, endgame, and everything else, Diablo 4 is cooked, and Rod, thereby, is also cooked.
You know what? When it comes to any kind of gamer, like they watch YouTube videos. If they watch Twitch, he's right. People who watch Twitch completely are going to switch to PoE2. People who watch YouTube, they'll try out PoE2. People who don't look up anything and they just bought a double down KFC sandwich and they saw like Diablo 4 and they're like, oh, that's a fun game. Let me try that out. Those people aren't going to play PoE because they don't even know it exists. And that's unfortunately the majority of Diablo players, and Diablo has millions of players. And a lot of them are just casual gamers. Anyone who's an actual gamer will probably end up switching to PoE2 just because it has endgame and there's stuff to do. I'm sure like many of you, if any of you play Diablo 4, you play for a week, you play for 2 weeks sometimes, and you're just like, I'm done now. That's probably how most of you play Diablo. I don't think that's how PoE plays. I don't play PoE often, but every time I see someone playing PoE, it's like, oh, the season or league started 6 weeks ago. They're still playing, and I'm like, holy shit. That's awesome. I wish I kept playing, and I don't know. I want to get in early on PoE2, and hopefully it's a good game with a lot to do. You know.
Coincidentally, I'm chatting with one of the people in charge of Path of Exile 2 live on Twitch and YouTube on November 26th at 5.
Okay, so today or tomorrow, depending where you are, DM's talking to Jonathan, and the 26th. 2 days from now or 3 days from now, Taco tries talking to Jonathan. He's making the rounds. It's time to go. Get hyped.
And it's completely free. I'll see you in the next video. Stay sane, my fellow exile. I wasn't going to make this video, but am now for 2 reasons. The first is this tweet right here from the Diablo 4 General Manager, Rod Ferguson, which we'll analyze and attempt to explain in a moment. The second is Tal Moana Exile's talkative try here talking about an absolutely stunning series of events that occurred on the...
I think I need more from him. Okay, got some talkative try in there. You know what? I do want some of that stats. Some of that was pretty good.
On that day, their peak viewership was 23,217. That's pretty good for a mid-season stream and a preview of Season 7. On that day, Now, let's look at Diablo 4 on Twitch to compare. Again, 62 follows. On YouTube, it was even wilder. I had a peak of 1,583 people watching live on YouTube, which is just insane. Other larger creators had even more massive volume, like Dark Microtransaction, who's bananas on Twitch. He had 21,382 max viewers and 58,517 unique viewers. Now, let's look at Diablo 4 on Twitch to compare. Again, by the numbers. On that day, their peak viewership was 23,217. That's pretty good for a mid-season stream and a preview of Season 7. However, what I think is more interesting is the larger view, as I think this feeds into the tweet we'll discuss in about 30 seconds. Diablo 4 viewership peaked on May 31st, 2023, with 941,488 viewers on Twitch.
Damn.
Almost immediately, it trails off and has never recovered at all, in the slightest. D4 is Blizzard's other big live service, content-rich game alongside WoW, which also peaked years ago in 2019 in viewership, but remains steadier than Diablo 4. Funnily enough, if you compare Path of Exile to Path of Exile 2 on Twitch, this does not happen as it does to Diablo 4 and World of Warcraft.
True, true.
Path of Exile's...
Okay, that's a lot of statistics, and I don't think that's going to make it into the parody video. The Rod Ferguson stuff will...
Same.
Yeah, that's pretty good stuff. Let's see. I need to download an Aaron video. Let's see. Okay, Aaron. Made it. Create new clip.
Don't mind if...
Okay, I can't. Because these clips in the beginning, I'm sure I'd be safe on YouTube because it's only less than 15 seconds. Skipping that. All right, I gotta wait a bit. Okay, here we go.
Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG. I'm your host Aaron, and for today's video we're headed to the world of Diablo vs PoE. Something like that. I keep getting messages on Discord, emails. I even got a few text messages from friends asking if I've seen this, and I thought, okay, I will make a quick video and give you my opinion. Now, as everybody knows, the Diablo 4 PTR campfire chat for Season 7 was dropped, and that was immediately followed by the absolute...
Lax, I don't know when we're going to have a next podcast. Aaron has been on a streamathon for like 60 days, which is amazing. He needs to keep going. And actually, I mean, like, we got PoE2 coming out. I'm going to have a lot of videos to make. It'll happen eventually. But for now, it's to be determined. Soon, TM.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Action RPG. I'm your host, Aaron, and for today's video, we're headed to the world of Diablo versus PoE. Something like that. I keep getting messages on Discord, emails, I even got a few text messages from friends asking if I've seen this, and I thought, okay, I will make a quick video and give you my opinion. Now, as everybody knows, the Diablo 4 PTR campfire chat for Season 7 was dropped, and that was immediately followed by the absolutely insane...
Yeah, he's good at doing... Aaron is a good explainer. He is a good public speaker. I need to do that. I just don't have that.
Now, as everybody knows, the Diablo 4 PTR campfire chat for Season 7 was dropped, and that was immediately followed by the absolutely insane, massive reveal of everything early access for PoE2 coming December 6th, which, by the way, it's moving into my seasonal rotation December 6th. Which, by the way, is moving into my seasonal rotation. I've already built up a team, and we're going to be try to be one of the best witch players there are for PoE2. So hopefully it's a lot of fun, and we really enjoy it. Now, what is this hot take? Rod Ferguson. Now, I actually got to do a sit-down, in-person interview with Rod Ferguson at Gamescom in Germany. He seemed like a nice guy. He's the SVP GM of all things Diablo at Blizzard, formerly known as Gears Viking. This is my personal account and represents only my opinions and thoughts. This is top dog for Blizzard Entertainment. And now to just kind of give you an idea of how much power this individual has. At BlizzCon last year and at Gamescom, everyone's talking, everyone's having fun, the creators are mingling with the Blizzard team, and when Rod enters the room, it's like, the boss is here. The boss is here. I was like, oh, wow, like, at least for the Blizzard team, this guy, like, you guys know what I'm talking about. He commands a lot of respect, or I don't know, at least from the Blizzard team, he is top dog. So, a couple of days ago, when the PoE2 stream ended, like, literally, X is blowing up, people are posting like crazy, holy crap, this is going to be incredible. Rod Ferguson puts out this tweet. Is it still called a tweet? Rod Ferguson, and this is, obviously I'm showing you this, like this is 100% real. Feels like the genre ARPG is starting to mean a lot of different things, much like Souls-like and roguelike. I wonder if we could normalize Diablo-like for ARPGs that follow the Diablo formula. This has almost 400,000 views. I literally said, oh man, this is perfect. Heart microtransaction. Can't set them up like that, my man. Try. Thank you for making video content.
Oh god,
that's pretty funny. Take coming soon. Looks like Try made it. You guys directly inspired Path of Exile, despite what anyone says, and that is actually true. Anyways, we'll look at some of the comments. So, anyways, this video is focused around just this simple communication, and it'll be a short video. Now, right off the bat, okay. If I'm in Rod's shoes, the first thing I say is just off the top of my head, hey, congratulations, Grinding Gear Games team. It looks like what you created is truly inspirational. I look forward to working together, or I look forward to getting my hands on Path of Exile 2 when it drops. Like, I don't know, maybe that's all wrong, but some kind of like celebratory congratulations to GGG is what you would think you would want the GM of Diablo to send out. At least that's where my brain goes. Okay. Now, maybe he's scared, maybe he's a little nervous, but the last thing you want to do is come across as...
yeah, that's good. It's good.
If I'm in Rod's shoes, the first thing I say is... If I'm in Rod's shoes, the first thing I say is just off the top of my head, hey, congratulations, Grinding Gear Games team. It looks like what you created is truly inspirational. I look forward to working together, or I look forward to getting my hands on Path of Exile 2 when it drops. Like, I don't know, maybe that's all wrong, but some kind of like celebratory congratulations to GGG is what you would think you would want the GM of Diablo to send out. At least that's where my brain goes. Okay. Now, maybe he's scared. Maybe he's a little nervous, but the last thing you want to do is come across as petty. And that's how this looks.
Yes. Okay, that's a good line. Yep.
And what's mildly hilarious, too, is that I've been making content on YouTube for a little over 5 years. October was my 5th year.
Nice.
And there's been a lot of people a lot longer than me that Diablo 1, 2, and 3 totally uses the term Diablo-like. Because Rod, in that sense, is correct that, you know, The Witcher 3 is an action RPG, but so is you know, Path of Exile. And a lot of games use that tag because it can be used so broadly. So we actually use the term Diablo-like because one, that tells the people they know exactly what type of game it is, and a lot of the algorithms like the term Diablo, believe it or not. But this is such bad form. It is absolutely terrible. Like, the timing on it, everything about it just looks really, really bad. It comes across as jealous. Such bad form. And a lot of the algorithms like the term Diablo, believe it or not. But this is such bad form. It is absolutely terrible. Like, the timing on it, everything about it just looks really, really bad. It comes across as jealous. But it's hilarious. Let's look at some of these comments. Can't set them up like that, my man. You guys directly inspired Path of Exile, despite what anyone says. That is true. How do you normalize Diablo-like if there's no...
Oh, there's Hog. Let's see. Imagine the game director of a major AAA company posting that he's jealous.
Like, if no one likes Diablo 4, well, since we have not seen Diablo-like for 20 years, what's your idea of Diablo-like, since the last Diablo is Diablo?
I wish Diablo 4 was Diablo-like. It's good.
2. Hog, my man. Imagine the game director of a AAA company posting that he's jealous of another game did it better release. Oh my gosh. PoE-like? I don't think so. I wish Diablo 4 was a Diablo-like. If Diablo was consistently good, maybe, but it...
Okay. Let's see.
Is endless. Endless. Rod, I normally like take from Rod Ferguson. Anyways, we could literally read these endless. Bad take from Rod Ferguson, top dog at Blizzard Entertainment. It just, that's over. It comes across as very jealous and petty. That is my overall sense of this comment from Rod. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I told you it'd be a pretty quick video. Just wanted to give you my opinions on it.
Okay. Really good lines there. I think this might be talking about Rod's tweet a bunch. He's gonna have a whole section. So Rod's tweet's gonna have a section. The fact that the stream got blown out of the water, maybe it starts with being like, hey, this is about Diablo. No, not really. It's about PoE. And then endgame will have a section. I think I have enough for a video. I want to maybe get a few more clips. I got to get Hog. Let's do Hog. Do.
I wasn't going to make this.
Feels like the genre of ARPG is starting to mean a lot of different things. Much like Souls-like and roguelike, I wonder if we could normalize Diablo-like for ARPGs that follow the Diablo formula.
Great.
Come on, you piece of junk. Look, baby. I absolutely cannot believe that this is real. This right here was absolutely cannot believe that this is real. This right here was my favorite out of all the badass stuff that was showcased. after all the in-game, after all the Atlas rework and dual skill trees and the two-handed weapons that you can dual wield in one hand, all of this, 6 classes and all this badass shit that they showed us yesterday at the Path to Exile 2 early access live stream. This right here was my favorite.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Absolutely. That shit triggered Rod Ferguson so bad that he had to go make a tweet.
It feels like the genre of ARPG is starting to mean a lot of different things. Much like Souls-like and much like. I wonder if we could normalize Diablo-like for ARPGs that follow the Diablo formula.
So they said this shit after the live release came out. Bruh. So they said this shit after the live release came out. Bruh, you ain't even followed the Diablo like. You ain't even got a goddamn Diablo in your game. So just please go sit down and get out of here. This is my favorite thing. So anyway, I'm not going to go over all the stuff because it takes forever. We ended up rewatching it like 2.5 times last night. I believe we were the last Path to Exile 2 channel to stay on for drops, so I was on until midnight to try to let everybody get a good drop in. DM came and hit us with like almost 8,000 raids. We had a badass night last night. I hope everybody else did. One of the main things that I'm seeing is most people are blown away. They think this is actually going to nuke PoE1 as well. Now, there are a handful of guys that are either being obtuse or don't even want to try the game or any of that. Now, look, I said this during Diablo 4, and I'm going to say it again during this. Try the game. You can't bitch about a game and say it sucks and it's slow, which I need to listen to this too, right? But you can't talk all the shit about a game that you ain't played. So that's the whole point of early access. I just want to friendly remind everybody this. Yes, the game's 80% complete. Yes, it's
Yeah, a lot of PoE1 people seem like they might have a problem with PoE2. Like, I don't really play PoE. I played D4, and I don't have any problem with PoE2. I guess that's self-explanatory. If you're playing only Diablo 4, you're obviously not going to have a problem with anything PoE unless it's too complicated, because that's like really the only excuse that Diablo people have against PoE. But other than that, it looks like a really good game.
Yes, there's all this badass shit, but just remember, the point of the early access is to provide feedback, because a lot of these systems are experimental. A lot of these new things we've never seen. And that was one of the big things that I was begging for with Diablo is, for the love of God, please give us something experimental. If we don't like it, at least you tried. Like, we'll give you a pass. But the guys that are immediately hating on everything because they hadn't even tried it, they just don't like the way it looks, you got to play it. And if you don't like it...
Dude, that happened with Last Epoch. People just saw it and they're like, oh, these graphics. I just love Diablo 4 graphics. I don't like Last Epoch graphics. So I'm just not even going to play it.
Feedback, and they'll either take it out of the game or they'll modify it to address your concerns or whatever. But the number one thing that I'm saying, here's a good example. People are already shitting all over the new Atlas system because of these things right here. Let me be honest with y'all. If you're concerned about this, first of all, you didn't listen or you didn't watch. That's why I went and rewatched it 2 or 3 times so I can know. This little area right here is actually the start.
Yeah, the WASD movement upset me until I played it. And I was like, holy shit, that's actually... I might end up switching to WASD movement in Diablo, because being able to move away from enemies while shooting them is pretty beneficial. It ends up being pretty sweet. I know you're like... However, I do have 1 through 4, 1 through 5 as my skills. So if I'm hitting ASDW on my hands, how am I going to hit my skills? But I do have an MMO mouse. I don't know, there's some things I got to think through, but I'll maybe use a controller. I don't know.
It's the start. So this is the start of the endgame. If you fail all 4 maps right there, then a dialog box pops up and says, here's your free CD key to Diablo 4. Enjoy, because you...
Oh my god.
If you fail all 4 maps right there, then a dialog box pops up.
Okay, I gotta incorporate that somehow.
You can't bitch about a game and say it sucks and it's slow, which I need, I needed to listen to this too, right? But you can't talk all this shit about a game that you ain't played. So that's the whole point of early access. I just want to friendly remind everybody this. Yes, the game's 80% complete. Yes, it's a huge game. Yes, there's all this badass shit. But just remember, the point of the early access is to provide feedback, because a lot of these systems are experimental. A lot of these new things we've never seen. And that was one of the big things that I was begging for with Diablo is, for the love of God, please give us some experimental. If we don't like it, at least you tried. Like, we'll give you a pass. But the guys that are immediately hating on everything because they hadn't even tried it, they just don't like the way it looks. You gotta play it. And then if you don't like it, provide feedback, and they'll either take it out of the game or they'll modify it to address your concerns or whatever. But the number one thing that I'm saying, here's concerns or whatever. But the number one thing that I'm saying, here's a good example. People are already shitting all over the new Atlas system because of these things.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably do something. This might be like, once the video's done, I'll pop Hog in and be like, dude, I have a problem with this.
Let me be honest with y'all. If you're concerned about this, first of all, you didn't listen or you didn't watch. That's why I went and rewatched it 2 or 3 times so I can know. This little area right here is actually the start. It's the start. So this is the start of the end game. If you fail all 4 maps right there, then a dialog box pops up and says, here's your free CD key to Diablo 4. Enjoy, because you suck.
Okay, that's good.
Just kidding. Y'all, it's the beginning of maps. You're not going to die right there. You're going to be able to get through that map just fine. If you or something that I think the cynical going into it, because I hadn't been involved with a GGG launch before and hadn't been getting a lot of info, really. So I was kind of dooming a little bit. Not dooming. Try to put that damn word in my head. Not dooming, but just trying to keep it easy. You know, just not being hyped about it. I wanted to hear some info about it. I wanted to hear something from Jonathan or Mark's mouth first. Hey, AKA, I want to see the live stream before I get hyped. Now it's okay. Trains left the station. You are clear to be hyped. Everything's cool. But let's just leave y'all with this. Let's pull this back up because I'm going to laugh at it again. This is how you know that the game is good. It ain't even out yet. This is how you know everyone's scared. Because this right here, I think it's very unprofessional. If I was the VP of a game company, I wouldn't be throwing shade. That's a very... This is how you know that the game is good. It ain't even out yet. This is how you know everyone's scared. Because this right here, I think is very unprofessional. If I was the VP of a game company, I wouldn't be throwing shade. That's a very passive-aggressive way to throw shade at GGG indirectly. And that's silly. So, Rod, hit the road, buddy. Don't you get it, Rod? Don't nobody want you around here. Don't nobody want you in our genre, period. So get lost, sissy boy. You gonna cry? Yeah, he's crying, boys. Why don't you go back to Target and get you some cookies there, little boy? Appreciate y'all. Make sure to hit like and subscribe for more Path to Exile 2 content. We true old school subathon. Sleep in front of the...
All right. That's good. We got enough to roast Rod. We got post-credit content. What else? What else should I get? Did I need more from... I feel like I needed more from Rax. Sure. I don't know, guys. It's 3 a.m. over by me. I'm probably gonna have to call it a night. Thanks you all for watching my weird editing stream. Hopefully it was somewhat entertaining, and I will probably be on tomorrow night. I'm gonna be streaming a lot more. Even if I'm editing, I'll be trying maybe playing a game. But thanks for stopping by, guys. Thank you, and have a good night. Is anyone on to raid? Do I even... It's freaking... No one's on at this time that I know. Yeah, I just don't know anyone on right now. So have a good night, everybody. Bye.